On a Saturday night, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight, the Grizz look for the sweep as they take on the Allen Americans in the last of a three-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. It's finally the eighth and final game of the road trip. Utah began the season with 2 home games, and then they went on an 8-game road trip, and tonight is the final game of the 8-game trip. It's been a really successful road trip for the Grizzlies, who are currently 5-2 on the road. They have won 4 in a row, and they look to make it 5 in a row with a series sweep of the Allen Americans. The road trip began in Boise for a 2-game set, October 28th and 29th. The Grizzlies won the series opener 2-1 as Taryn Fizer and Cameron Wright scored Utah's goals. Lucas Preek was less than a minute away from a shutout as Ryan Domowski scored with about 13 seconds left in regulation. Utah got the 2-1 victory, and then Idaho won 4-0 the next night on October 29th as Jake Kupski got a 23-save shutout. Idaho won 4-0. The first game in Kansas City, the Mavericks got a 3-2 victory, but then the Grizzlies won 2 in a row, which started out with Cameron Wright getting the overtime game winner, 2:04 in, and then the following night, which was last Saturday, the Grizzlies scored 5 power play goals, and Andrew Nilsson tied a team record with 6 assists as Utah won 7-4. Utah has won each of the first 2 games in Allen. Both of them have been close games that could have easily gone either way. On Wednesday night, Connor McDonald scored the game winner with 13 seconds left in overtime as Utah won 3-2. Garrett Metcalf was outstanding, stopping 32 of 34. Metcalf started each of the first 3 games of the winning streak. And last night, it was Trent Miner's turn as he stopped 31 of 33. It was a very balanced attack as Utah won 4-2 behind goals from Dylan Fitz, Johnny Walker, Cameron Wright, and Zach Sekos added an empty netter with about a minute left in regulation. Utah was 1 for 5 on the power play last night. Allen was 1 for 3. Bryson Martin didn't score any points, but he was a +3 for Utah in the victory. So the Grizz look to make it fit 5 in a row and 3 in a row against the Allen Americans this season. Utah overall has won 7 straight against the Americans. So I know it's a lot of numbers, but let's just say things have been going well for the Grizzlies on the road trip. They are currently 5-2 on the trip, and they look to make it 6-2 with a victory tonight. At worst, if Allen comes away with a victory tonight, it is still a successful road trip. The worst the Grizzlies can be is 5-3 on the road trip. And remember, the Grizzlies will be home next week against the Idaho Steelheads. It will start out a 6-game homestand. They will take on Idaho this upcoming Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. And don't forget that Friday will be Pooch on the Pond. That's going to be on November 18th, which will be 6 days from now. Pooch on the Pond, and it will also be the first AFCU Friday since opening night. With AFCU Fridays, tickets start at just $8, and you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. Should be a lot of fun tonight. Grizzlies and the Americans. Trent Miner will get the start in net for Utah. He'll be going up against Luke Parasini, who got the start on Wednesday night, and he got the Americans a standing point, but the Grizzlies came away with a victory. He looked good in net on Wednesday. So far this season, he has got a 1-2-1 record with a 2.72 goals against average. When we come back, we'll give you some of the player trends, who's looked good for the Grizzlies as of late, and we'll also give you the lineups for both teams. We're in business on a Saturday night, and you're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out here at Maverick Center. Guy Karenza is nearby. We'll talk with Guy in a little bit. We'll also talk with him during the intermissions and during the post-game report. For the Grizzlies, there's been a lot of key contributors to the road trip, and a lot of big reasons as to why the Grizzlies are 5-2 so far in the 8-game trip. And I look at goaltending being a big factor. Lucas Preek started a few games on the road trip, and he looked good. How about Garrett Metcalf, though? He started out with the second game in the Kansas City series, which was last Friday, 8 days ago, and he picked up 2 victories against Kansas City. He is now 4-0 in his last 4 starts against the Mavericks. On Wednesday night against Allen, he was outstanding. He kept the Grizzlies in the game, and even though Allen looked like they had one good chance after another, Metcalf stopped 32 of 34, and Utah won in overtime. Metcalf is 3-0 this season. He'll be the backup tonight because last night it was Trent Miner's turn. He stopped 31 of 33, and he picked up his first win of the season. It was his first start in 3 weeks. And so it was good to see Trent Miner get on the right track. He'll be in net for the Grizzlies tonight. Trent's got a record of 1-1 with a 3.04 goals against average and .897 save percentage. The goaltending's been solid on the road trip. But you also got to look at key contributors in terms of forwards who have done a lot of scoring on the trip. How about Cameron Wright? He's got 3 goals this season. All of them have been game winners, as he's got 2 goals and 6 assists in his last 4 games. He's really picked up the scoring. Wright's also a high-volume shooter. He leads Utah with 37 shots, which also ranks tied for second in the league. Terran Fizer's been outstanding. He was left off the stat sheet last night, but he's got a point in 4 of his last 5 games and also has a point in 7 out of 9 games this season. Fizer is tied for the club lead with 6 goals, and he's tied with Zach Sekos, who's got 4 goals in his last 3 games. He got an empty netter last night. But how about Sekos and Fizer in terms of guys that aren't necessarily high-volume shooters, but they make their chances count? Fizer this season has a 25% shooting percentage, 6 for 24. Sekos this season has a 27.3 shooting percentage. He's 6 for 22. So those guys have really made the most of their opportunities this season. Wright's done an outstanding job. Brandon Cutler on the power play over the last 3 games has been outstanding. In fact, he's got 4 points this season, and all of them have come on the power play over the last week. 2 goals and 2 assists. He had a 2-goal and 1 assist performance last Saturday against Kansas City in the series-deciding victory as Utah won that game 7-3 to take 2 out of 3 games in the series. My pick to click tonight is going to be Johnny Walker. How about Walker? He's got 3 goals in his last 3 games. He scored twice last Saturday and also scored in the second period out in front of the net. And so Walker's got 3 goals on 10 shots this season, and he's been outstanding for the Grizzlies as of late. So watch out for Johnny Walker. He's my pick to click. Everybody else, make your pick to click on the live chat on the Grizzlies YouTube feed. That is the audio feed of the Utah Grizzlies this season. The video feed exclusively is on Flow Sports all season long. And so, yes, on YouTube, you are watching me watching a hockey game. But, hey, we'll try to make the most of it, and I'll try to paint a picture for you, even though I'm not an artist and I can't even draw a stick figure. But we'll try to describe this game the best we can. Guy Carenza's over there as well. We might get Guy on right now. Let's ask him who his pick to click is this evening as the Grizzlies look for the 3-game sweep. Guy, I am going to go with Johnny Walker as my pick to click. Who are you going with?
Oh, that's a good pick, Tyson. I like Johnny Walker, but I'm going to go with Terran Fizer tonight. You know, he was held off the stat sheet last time. I don't think that's going to be a sticking trend. I think he's going to have a good game tonight.
You're going with Terran Fizer. I got Johnny Walker. I also can't forget about Andrew Nilsson and the job he's done on this road trip. After all, Nilsson in his last 4 games has 1 goal and 8 assists. He currently leads all league defensemen in assists and points. And, you know, with Nate Klerman yesterday getting called up to the AHL guy, the contributions of Andrew Nilsson certainly are huge, and they're probably going to be huge for the Grizzlies again tonight.
Yeah, he's been really big, and he's been a large part of this team's success. I mean, he factors in on a lot of the Grizzlies' goals. He's great on the power play. He's got a really good shot, too. So all around a great defenseman, and he's playing great for the Grizzlies.
We'll talk with Guy Carenza during each of the intermissions and the post-game report. But when we come back to the Grizzlies pregame show, we'll have the starting lineups for both teams. It's the Grizzlies and the Americans coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto. Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. Starting lineup for both teams. for the visiting Utah Grizzlies, led by head coach and general manager Ryan Kanasowicz, who's in his second season leading the club. Kanasowicz has 48 victories in 1+ season as head coach. His assistant is Jared Pike. Starting in net is Trent Miner. He got the victory last night, stopping 31 of 33. The defensive pairing to start things out: Wednesday night's hero Connor McDonald, who's got 1 goal on the season. Connor wears the captaincy for the Grizzlies. He'll be lined up next to Andrew Nilsson. Nilsson leads all league defensemen in assists and points, and he's been amazing for the Grizzlies. He's got a point in 3 of his last 4 games. He's the reigning league player of the week, as he had 1 goal and 7 assists in his last 2 games last week against Kansas City. He's the first player of the week award for the Grizzlies in a year and a half. So it's McDonald and Nilsson to start out. We'll also see Joey Kolatarchi, Bryson Martin, Jordan Stone, and Kyle Pouncey. That's the other defenseman for the Grizzlies. The defensemen that are out of the lineup tonight include Victor Bartley, James Shearer. If you didn't join us yesterday, Nate Klerman was sent to the AHL's Colorado Eagles, as he got called up yesterday before the game. So he didn't play last night, and he's back in Colorado once again this evening. Starting forwards for the Grizzlies, Cameron Wright, who's been amazing in his last 4 games with 2 goals and 6 assists. All 3 of his goals this season have been game winners. He'll be lined up next to Zach Sekos, who's got 4 goals in his last 3 games. And Cam Strong. I got a feeling Cam's going to have a big night tonight. He's certainly made a physical presence for the Grizzlies, and he's been a good 2-way forward. He'll be wearing number 26. So the starting forwards tonight are Wright, Sekos, and Strong. The other forwards we'll see tonight might pick to click Johnny Walker. We'll also see guys pick to click Taron Fizer. Fizer's got 6 goals, which is tied with Sekos for the team lead. Keaton Jamison picked up an assist last night. It was his first point of the season. Dylan Fitz will be in the Grizzlies lineup tonight. He scored a first-period goal last night. It was a power play tally. Tyler Penner, he's due to get on the board, but he's done some really good things in front of the net for the Grizzlies, and he's also been pretty good defensively. Dakota Raby's got 2 assists in his last 4 games. He'll be in there. And Brandon Cutler has 4 power play points this season, and we'll see if he'll get his first even strength point for the Grizzlies tonight. So that's the 10 forwards for the Grizzlies. They're going 10 forwards and 6 defensemen, 16 skaters this evening. Starting in net for the Allen Americans is Luke Parasini. He got the start on Wednesday night, and he got the loss in overtime, but he played pretty well. He's got a save percentage of .889 with a 2.72 goals against average. Last night's starter, Logan Flodell, was called up to the AHL's Belleville Senators, as that's the AHL affiliate of the Allen Americans. Allen's NHL affiliate is the Ottawa Senators. Starting defensively for the Americans, the former Grizzly Chris Mallory, who's in his 3rd season as a pro. Mallory has 1 goal and 2 assists in 7 games and a +2 rating. He'll be lined up next to Colton Sosserman, who looks outstanding in Allen's specialty jerseys tonight. Allen is wearing special jerseys, as it looks like it is military night over at the Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Sosserman and his impressive-looking beard will be wearing number 23 tonight. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 7 games. Starting forwards, Colton Hargrove, who's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 7 games. Jackson Leopard has 1 goal in 5 games. That 1 goal came in the 3rd period last night. And Zach Pachiro had 1 assist last night. Pachiro on the season has 3 goals and 3 assists in 7 games. Watch out for Hank Crone, who had 1 goal and 1 assist last night. He's a forward to keep an eye out for, as well as Jack Combs, who had 3 goals and 4 assists in 7 games. Combs got an impressive resume, as he's been in this league and the AHL, and he's been everywhere in over a decade of pro hockey. So watch out for those guys tonight. And also watch out for Liam Finley, who's got 6 points in 5 games this season. Finley's going to be wearing number 15. When we come back, we'll have face-off over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. It's the Grizzlies and the Americans coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Utah Operation Lifesaver.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line tonight as the 6-3 Utah Grizzlies take on the 2-4-1 Allen Americans. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's been a very long road trip for the Grizzlies. I have no clue how they did laundry because I can't imagine they packed 2 weeks worth of clothing. This is game 8 of 8 straight on the road. And if you think about the game plan going into the road trip, you probably thought, okay, you'll split the 2 games in Idaho in the first part of the trip, and then you had the 3-game series against Kansas City. Kansas City, for some reasons, played the Grizzlies about dead even over the last 5 years. So you thought, okay, you come out, win 2 out of 3 there. And then you go to Allen, and you probably think coming into this series, Allen's got some talented forwards. They've got some experience. You think, okay, you win 2 out of 3 there. You feel good about coming home with a 5-3 road trip. Well, the Grizzlies right now are 5-2, and they can make it 6-2 with a victory tonight. So we'll see what happens. I think for the Grizzlies, the big thing is to maintain your focus, knowing that you're going to be going home tomorrow and you're going to be at the friendly confines of Maverick Center soon. And, this is the type of game where Allen, obviously, with a lot of pride, they don't want to get swept in a 3-game series at home. So, you're going to have to bring out a good effort, and we'll see what happens here tonight. Grizzlies are wearing the white jerseys tonight, very similar to what they wore last season with black numbers and professional green trim. And the Allen Americans are wearing a specialty jersey tonight. It looks like the middle of the jersey is camouflage. There's a little bit of red, white, and blue on the shoulders and some red, white, and blue in a flag shape on the bottom of their jerseys. They've got red pants and red and white socks. And so it's a good uniform game tonight. The Grizzlies have been wearing the black jerseys for the majority of the season, but they're wearing the white tonight. As the 2 captains, Connor McDonald for the Grizzlies and Colton Saucerman of Allen. Saucerman's wearing an A on his sweater. Their captain, Spencer Asachuk, is out with an injury. He's only played in 1 game this season. So it is military night over in Allen, Texas, and the Americans are wearing a sweet-looking specialty jersey. And I got to say that Colton Saucerman in particular, with his bald head and big beard, fits in pretty nicely. The referee tonight is Alec Rounds. The linesmen are Daniel Barnes and Trent Williams. Starting forwards once again for Allen is Colton Hargrove, Jackson Leopard, and Zach Pachiro. The starting defensive pairing is Chris Mallory and Colton Saucerman. For the Grizzlies, it's going to be Connor McDonald and Andrew Nelson to start. The forwards are Cameron Wright, Zach Sekos, and Cam Strong. Trent Miner is in net for the Grizzlies, going up against Luke Parasini for the Allen Americans. 20 minutes on the scoreboard clock. We're watching on Flow Sports, and we do beg for a little bit of forgiveness from the YouTube crowd as sometimes it can be tough to describe exactly what's going on. We'll miss some details, unfortunately. So bear with us, as I'm not nearly as terrible as I'm going to sound tonight. I swear, I'm a little bit better than that. But do have a bit of patience here on this Saturday night as Zach Sekos will take the draw for Utah. Grizzlies will be skating from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye tries to see it on YouTube as the Grizzlies win the draw. Nelson gets it across to McDonald as Connor gets it back to Andrew. He'll skate down the middle. Now feed it to the right side for Wright. Wright crosses the offensive line and rolls it around the boards as it goes to the left side, and Allen takes it. Americans in their specialty jersey feed a right wing pass. Utah picks it off and they dump it back in. Luke Parasini behind his net collects it. He'll throw it to Mallory. He'll get it across towards Saucerman. But it stays towards Mallory as he'll give it to Jackson Leopard as he'll pull it ahead. And it goes back towards the corner. Mallory now on the near side as he'll toss it ahead. Goes past McDonald and deep into the Grizzlies zone. Arm is raised by the linesman, and icing is called 40 seconds into the game as we get our first whistle. Guy, apparently the live chat isn't working as Jared Dane wants to put his pick to click on. But apparently the chat isn't on tonight, according to Jared Dane. Hopefully, maybe it's Jared's. Maybe Jared doesn't know how to use the live chat. Who knows? But we're still early on If the live chat is working, go to that and make your pick to click for tonight. I am going to go with Johnny Walker. Utah wins the draw. Left point shot goes wide. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. Raby behind the net gets it taken away as Mallory in the corner, as he'll toss it ahead. That's a matchup of Big Ten rivals. Raby, and he'll get it to Pfizer. Right side will take a shot. Saved by Parasini. Rebound goes to Allen. They'll spin it along the far side. Grizzlies get it across to Pfizer. He takes a shot. Saved by Parasini. As rebound goes back over there, Jared Dane's going to go with Johnny Walker as his pick to click as Raby gets it taken away by Leopard. He'll get back to neutral ice. Now he'll feed it to the left side as we're a minute into this game. Still no score as the Americans cross center ice and they'll chip it in. Kyle Pouncey over there delivering a hit is number 17, Sekos, around Utah's net. Puck goes to the far side. Now it chips back to center ice. Allen will get it across as it's now the near side. The Americans will back it out into their own zone. Zachary Massicott, number 49, will get the puck. So he'll skate down the middle. He'll feed it ahead. Now Allen will dump it towards the right corner as the Americans throw it to the circle. Shot that goes wide as the Americans get it poked away. 3-on-1. Grizzlies cross center ice. Skating towards the right is Dylan Fitz. He gets to the circle. Take a shot. Saved by Parasini. Rebound shot. And that one goes to the left side. Couldn't get it off as Nilsson. Now he takes a shot. On it goes wide. As out to the corner. Fitz skates around the net. He feeds it out to the high slot, but it goes past Johnny Walker and deep into the Grizzlies zone. Utah had a 3-on-1 and a golden opportunity, but just couldn't convert. Minor flings it over towards the near boards. Allen in the offensive zone, right point. As the Americans literally kick it to the right corner, now back up top. Utah picks it off as they anticipated the play well. Grizz cross center ice. Cameron Wright dumps it in. Parasini kicks it towards the left corner. As Allen in their specialty jerseys, as they're battling along the far wall. Utah tried to kick it to the corner. Allen picked it off. They couldn't clear it. As the puck stays towards the far wall. Cameron Wright hacking away. As Wright gets the puck, he'll skate towards the left circle. Lost as it nudges towards the end wall. As Allen boxes out right, Sekos takes it away. Sekos to the left circle. He'll skate back towards the point, now towards his right. He'll throw a backhand pass to the right corner. Over there's Cam Strong, but it goes past him. He'll nudge it to the left corner. Now up top for McDonald. Connor with a shot that gets blocked. Goes back towards the left circle. Grizzlies skate in. They get knocked down as they were looking for a shot on Parasini. No call as Allen crosses center ice. Americans dump it in. And that's number 20, Colton Olenek, who was just picked up by the Americans earlier today, making his Allen debut. Over to the right point. Shot saved by Minor. Trent holds on. 16:38 left in the first. And you got to like the Grizzlies' offensive zone time over the first 3 minutes of play here. And even though it's still scoreless, I think the golden opportunity there was the 3-on-1 that Utah had. Fitz took a shot that was blocked, and then the rebound. Utah was looking for that second chance, but just somehow couldn't get it through. So we stay scoreless. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. And Guy is, unfortunately, he's like frantically making sure the live chat is working. Could be user error on Jared Dane's part. It could be user error for him, but it is what it is. It works for Guy, apparently. Over to the left side, Mallory with a shot. Saved by Minor. As Allen won the face-off, they got it to the former Grizzly, and Trent was able to make the save. As the draw is going to stay in the Grizzly zone. 16:32 left in the first. Joey Colatarchi communicating with Brandon Cutler. Brandon will take the draw. He was in training camp with the Manitoba Moose of the AHL. Draw won by Allen. They're back in their offensive corner on the near side. They get it to Jackson Leopard. Leopard skates towards the right. Cutler pushes him. And skating over there is Bryson Martin, number 14, but it's Allen that has the puck. They'll skate towards the left point. Now they'll feed it up top for Sosserman. He'll take a shot. That gets blocked. Puck ends up in the right circle. It kicks off of Martin as Allen feeds it out in front over towards Cargrove. He gets cut off by Cutler. Good defensive play by Brandon as Joey gets it across. And now Utah feeds it to Cutler on the right side. Bounce past him. And looks like it's going to be icing on Utah. So a rink-wide pass towards Brandon Cutler didn't connect at center ice. And it's going to be icing on the Grizzlies. 4 minutes into the game. 15:59 left here in the first. We know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. We appreciate you choosing the Grizzlies tonight. And, Guy, don't worry about the live chat. I think it was user error on Jared Dane's part. And I kid Jared Dane because he's in the office right next to me every weekday here at Maverick Center. Grizzlies win the draw. Colatarchi over there along with Bryson Martin as the Americans chip it to the near side. As the Americans skate towards the left point. As Massicott feeds it up top for Crone. He gets it across the right side. Now back to Massicott, left point. Shot, that's blocked by Martin. Goes back towards the far boards as Allen skates to the right point. As they're being shadowed by Cutler, they feed it to the right corner. Now the Americans behind the goal line. They try to get it out in front, but instead skate around the net with the puck. They'll throw it up top for Massicott. He'll fire a lefty shot. Saved by Minor. A lot of traffic out in front. Utah clears it out. Grizz run down to Stern. Pfizer, no icing. Pfizer towards the end wall. Gets the puck in the corner, and Allen looking to take it away. Now another American gets there. Hank Crone. He'll toss a cross-ice pass. It glances off the stick. Now goes back to White. And now to Nico Blackman. He fires it around the boards. It goes to the right side. And out bounces off a Grizzly at center ice. Utah feeds it to the slot. As skating in, Fitz shot. Saved by Parasini. Now the Grizzlies skate in down the middle. Shot. Saved by Parasini. Where's the puck? It's towards the crease. Allen gets it. As the Americans will bounce it off their boards for Durham. And he'll get it out of the zone out to center ice. Now the Americans skate in 2-on-2. Right circle, lefty shot. That one goes wide. Minor might have gotten a piece of it. Puck ends up back as Allen that looks like it's offside as the puck exited the zone, and then Lord Anthony Grissom tried to keep it in, and instead it exited for an offside call. 14:35 left in the first. Well, that was another great chance by the Grizzlies, and then Allen came back with a 2-on-1 of their own. It almost feels like with those odd man breaks, it looks like either team is kind of looking to find a way to get on the board one way or another. Both teams have good goaltenders. Both teams really have good defensive units. And, I think both teams understand the importance of getting on the board first and playing with the lead, like the Grizzlies did last night, scoring the game's first 3 goals. Draws in the left circle of the Grizzlies zone, and it's won by Utah. And looks like off the draw, we'll do it again. As a referee, I must not have liked how the puck was dropped. So it looks like we'll have the face-off over again. Cameron Wright will take it for Utah. Wright has done a good job here in his first season. Last year, the Grizzlies had a ton of rookies. But this year, Wright really is one of only a few rookies on the roster. As off the draw, Allen wins it. Leopard with a shot that goes wide. And the puck exits the zone. Allen dumps it back in as the Grizzlies on the right side get it. As Nilsson feeds it in front of his net to Pouncey. Kyle will bounce it off the near glass. And it goes back to Allen as they backpedal into their own zone. Americans skate from right to left here in the first period. 14-12 and counting left in the first, no score. Americans to the right side, cross center ice, fires a shot. Glove saved by Minor. Trent holds on. That was a blast from center ice. And Minor thought about getting rid of it, but an Allen skater cut in front of him, and he couldn't get rid of the puck quick enough, so the whistle blew, and Allen gets an offensive zone draw. 14:06 left here in the first. We've had quite a few more whistles early on in this first segment than we had in the first 2 games of this series in the first period. And it's kind of interesting to see the pairing of McDonald and Nilsson on the ice together, as it looked like Kolatarchian and Bryson Martin were playing a lot together defensively. Off the draw, Utah wins it as Nilsson gets it to McDonald. Now the turn Pfizer. He's still in the Grizzlies zone, battling along the near wall. Allen gathers it and spins it around the boards to the right side. Utah chips it off the boards to center ice. Allen pokes it back as it goes to center ice. Now to the right side, Pfizer drops it off for Raby. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Parasini. Rebound goes out to the far boards. Raby battling Cutler with 2 Americans. Cutler throws it to the left point for McDonald. He feeds it to the middle, but Allen picks it off. 3-on-2. Allen to the right side. They center it to the slot, and the Americans couldn't handle the pass. Utah nudges it out to center ice, taken by Cutler, who dumps it in. As it rolls around the boards, it ends up in the far corner. Allen gathers it as they'll station themselves behind Parasini. 13-18 and counting left in the first, still no score. As both teams spread the ice. As the Americans have 2 cutting to the left, puck still behind the net. Now they feed it to the right side. Allen with an outlet pass out to center ice, picked off by Utah. Cameron Wright drops it off for the middle. Now back to Wright on the right side. He gets knocked down as he collides with an Allen player in the corner. Now the Americans cross center ice. They'll feed it to the right side. Allen skates towards the right circle, centering pass, shot. Saved by Minor. Puck ends up back in the left corner. Good job by the Grizzlies and Trent Minor keeping it scoreless. Secco's battling in the corner. Now Bryson Martin nudges it ahead. Wright gets it across. Now back to Wright on the right side. Allen got a stick in the way of Wright, and they take the puck. As good play by Lord Anthony Grissom, the Detroit native, as Allen will feed it from blue line to blue line. It's taken by Utah. They'll throw it across to Martin. Bryson gets it to center ice down the middle. His pass bounces off the end wall. Johnny Walker races after it, but Parasini will feed it to the near side. Now Penner will throw it across. Now Utah to the left side. They get it to the right side for Pouncey. He'll take a shot. Stick save by Parasini. Rebound goes out to the far side as Allen will get it across to Leopard. Now back to defenseman Chris Mallory. Now the Americans cross center ice to the right, being defended by Walker. They'll chip it into the left corners. It rolls around the boards, now behind Miner's net. Pouncey throws it back to the near corner. Now they get it to Fitz. He'll throw it across to Walker. Johnny crosses the blue line as he'll drop it off for Fitz on the left side. Fitz gets around a skater. Skates towards the left circle. Take a shot. Saved by Parasini. Rebound goes out to Walker. He'll get it up top for Martin. Now to McDonald on the right side. Connor has plenty of room, but he'll feed it to the high slot. Fitz with a shot, and that gets blocked out in front of Parasini. And Allen will get the rebound. They'll skate around the net. Grizzlies will retreat, and they'll make a line change as Allen has the puck still deep in their own zone. 11:20 left in the first period, still no score. Left wing pass. Now Allen crosses center. Hank Crone gets a screen. He'll drop it off to the left circle. Righty shot saved by Martin. Rebound. Grizzlies have it. They'll toss it off the far wall. Allen still in the offensive zone as they'll get it to the right corner. Allen now behind the goal line gets hit by Utah. Americans tried to throw it back to the right point. Utah picks it off. Grizz cross center ice. They'll throw it to the right side for Pfizer. Pfizer in the corner runs it down as he gets dragged down by an Allen skater. Now he gets back to his feet. Allen double teams him in the corner and takes a puck away. As it goes back to center ice, Utah gets it. Grizz will get it to Colatarchi. He'll feed it to the center ice logo. Grizzlies skate back in. Set goes to the left circle. Take a shot. Saved by Parasini. And he holds on with 10:39 left in the first. Boy, a lot of action both ways. Grizzlies and the Americans, both goaltenders have looked good. Both teams displaying fun speed. It's been a fun first period, and we'll be back in 1 minute. No score as you're listening to Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
10:39 left in the first period. It's military night over in Allen, and they look like they have by far their best crowd of the weekend. It's good to see a lot of fans in attendance over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Next Friday, the Grizzlies will have Pooch on the Pond. That's going to be game 2 of the 3-game set against Idaho, and it's also going to be an AFCU Friday, where tickets start at $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. We've been skating 5-on-5 this entire time. Utah has outshot Allen 8-7. Dylan Fitz has 3 shots, and then 5 other Grizzlies have 1. For Allen, Colton Sosman has 2 shots, and then 5 other Americans have 1 shot on goal. Grizzlies hockey is brought to you by Siegfried and Jensen, your personal injury attorneys. Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by Utah Operation Lifesaver, C-Trax, Think Train. And Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by Coca-Cola, where real magic is only a sip away. Draws in the left circle of the Grizzlies offensive zone. Allen wins the face-off. They skate from right to left. Batted by Nilsson. It ends up back in the American zone. Allen's Chris Mallory will feed it across to Sossaman. Now get it ahead as Allen gets it back to Sossaman. As it looks like the Americans really doing a good job spreading the ice. Allen's still in their own zone as the Grizzlies really challenging them. As now Utah throws to the left point. Shot gets blocked. Now Fitz tries to feed the slot, and Allen picks it off. Jackson Leopard crosses center ice. Now he skates into the left circle. He'll take a shot that goes wide. McDonald was out in front of him. Now to the right corner. Allen will skate around the net. McDonald shadowing as the Americans will pitch it up top to Mallory. He'll fire it off the end wall intentionally. Allen gets tripped up, no call. Now McDonald gets blasted as he gets thrown into the corner as McDonald still battling in his own corner. Nilsson's nearby. Now McDonald takes it away and throws it towards the left side. Boy, Connor wins so many of those one-on-one battles in the corner. It's amazing. As Leopard gets it taken away. Nilsson around his own net. Now he'll get it to the right side. As Utah gets to center ice, and Keaton Jamison dumps it in. Parasini behind his net plays it. 9:23 and counting left in the first period. Still no score. Shots pretty close to even as the Americans will throw it to Sossaman. He'll feed it to neutral ice as Allen crosses center. 3-on-4. The Americans enter the zone. They'll drop it off to the right circle. Righty shot goes wide. Miner might have gotten a piece of it with a stick. Utah to center ice gets it. 2-on-1. Penner gets it to the left side for Fitz. Fitz with a shot. Saved by Parasini. And the puck ends up rolling towards the near boards. Shot might have gone wide. Now the Allen has a 3-on-2. Crone will throw it back towards Finley. He'll take a shot that goes wide. Now it goes back to the Americans. They'll turn over. Grizzlies with a shot. Oh, and they hit the pipe. Oh, Allen turned it over right in front of their net. Fitz with a shot, and somehow he hit iron, and the iron was unkind. Puck ends up to the left corner as the Grizzlies attack again. Pfizer gets it to the left side. Oh, puck bounced off a Cutler stick and goes to the corner. Cutler tried to get it back towards the other corner, and it's stuck there as Allen will feed it to the near side. Jack Combs will skate around Parasini's net. Boy, Fitz has got to be kicking himself over missing that opportunity after Allen turned it over. 8:12 left in the first, as Dylan Fitz has at least 4 of Utah's shots here so far. As the Americans, Dalton Skelly behind his net. He'll hand it off for Hargrove. Hargrove skates down the middle, crosses center ice, and he'll chip it to the left corner as Leopard will spin it around the wall. This goes back to the right side, now to the right circle as it spins back around behind Miner's net. Bryson Martin nudges it to one corner, and now it goes back over towards the far side. Utah skates from left to right. They get it ahead to Sekos, now to right, who drops it off to center ice as Utah takes it. Stone with a shot, and he fanned on it as Raby throws it to the near corner. Allen gets it. 7.5 minutes left in the first, still no score. Americans around their own net with Sekos shadowing. They get it to Massicott. They'll feed a blue line pass to Hargrove. Hargrove skates along his near goal line. Now he's to the right side. Looks to feed it out in front. Passes behind Leopard. Now it goes back over towards Godbout. He takes a shot that goes wide. Utah around their net. Jordan Stone to the far side, trying to chip it out. It stays in along the far wall. Allen in the circle as good defensive play by Stone. Now to the right side. Allen gets it poked away. Utah 2-on-2 crosses center ice. They'll feed it to the left side. Grizzlies stop just outside the circle. Cam Strong skates back towards the point. Now he drops it off for Wright. He takes a shot and it's blocked. And it goes back over to the right corner as Penner gets double teamed in the corner. Penner with 1 goal this season. He gets to Strong, who skates around the net. Strong now to the left side, feeds it up top. Pouncey back around the board. Strong gets it behind the net. He gets to Wright to the right side near the wall. He gets double teamed, and over there back is Penner. Now to Strong, back to Wright. Shot saved by Parasini. Rebound goes to Allen. They skate around their net. 6:18 and counting left in the first, still no score. But the Grizzlies have had some really good looks on Parasini here early on. As Allen spreads the ice again, they'll throw it to the far side. Allen skates from right to left. They cross center ice, right wing, and dump it in. As it bounces off the glass, Grizzlies will get it out to center. Johnny Walker to the right side, steps over the line, drops it off for Fitz. Fitz around the net as he's now on the left side. He'll get it up top. Nilsson will get it towards the goal line. I tried to feed it out in front to the crease. Allen picked it off. They throw it to center ice left wing. Dumping it in is Colton Olenek. No relation to Kelly Olenek, the Jazz center. As the Grizzlies get it to the far side, they skate from left to right as they lift it high into the air. Glove by Allen. They get blasted. Taking its Fitz right side. Shot. Glove saved by Parasini. Might have gone wide, though, as it rolled off the boards. Now Allen gets it. They cross center ice. They'll throw it to the right wing. Allen with a breakaway. They'll skate in. They'll take a shot, and they score. Allen gets on the board first, as looks like Liam Finley was wide open. He got a long-range pass that connected on the right side. He skated towards the circle. Didn't stop there as he went in. He made a nice move on Trent Miner just outside the crease. Went top shelf over Trent Miner's shoulder. What a move by Finley, who earned that goal, as the Americans have scored first tonight. Allen has scored first in 2 of the 3 games in this series. They took a 1-0 lead on Wednesday, about 5 minutes in, and then 2 minutes later, the Grizzlies with Terran Pfizer tied it up. A lot of end-to-end action, and Allen was able to get behind the Grizzlies' defense. Liam Finley with the goal, and we'll see who's going to get the assist once it shows up on the box score. But it looked like a pretty nice move by Liam Finley, who gets his 2nd goal of the season. They show Colton Hargrove. It possibly ends up with an assist as the Americans in their specialty jerseys get on the board first tonight. Finley played at the University of Denver, but he wasn't a teammate of Cameron Wright's. He played at Denver from 2016 through 2020. As the Americans try to skate into their offensive zone after winning the faceoff, and Utah bounced it back to center ice. Near the Grizzlies bench area, we got a hand pass, and the draw is going to come back to center ice. 5:02 is left in the first period. There's a timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. Liam Finley has given the Americans a 1-0 lead, and we'll be back to see how the first period ends here in 30 seconds. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Allen leads 1-0 as Liam Finley got his second of the year. Jack Combs with an assist, time a goal, 14:37 into the first period. Allen has taken 11 shots, Utah with 9. And so it's been an interesting back-and-forth battle. And it looked like Allen wanted a little bit more of a methodical approach there, at least in their zone. But then they threw a long-range pass, Combs to Finley, and he was behind the Grizzlies' defense. And unfortunately, it seems like a couple of times a game that has happened to Utah's defense, where you just throw a pass from blue line to blue line, and it seems like a breakaway happens. That's how Durham scored in the first period on Wednesday. It looks like that has happened again here with Liam Finley, who lit the lamp on a really nice move on Trent Miner. It wouldn't surprise me if that's one of the league's plays of the week. As Allen wins the faceoff, they skate from right to left. Utah's won 4 in a row, and they look to make it 5 in a row here tonight. As Jackson Leopard, back in his own zone, skates to his right. Now he skates towards the Allen bench, crosses center ice, and backhands it into the Grizzlies zone. Utah runs after it. Connor McDonald will skate towards the near side as McDonald gets blasted in the corner, left point. Allen with a shot that gets blocked. As Utah will feed it to center ice, Allen picks it off. Americans cross center, and they'll dump it back into the left corner as Kolatarchi runs over there, and it goes back over to the near side. Utah will cross center ice. Taryn Fizer will chip it ahead, but Allen gets it at their blue line as Skelly gets it across, and Allen will start the attack to the right side. Now they'll get it back to Skelly, who skates down the middle. Dalton's his first name. He'll dump it in, and it looks like it's going to be icing on Allen, as Skelly was looking for Jackson Leopard, but he couldn't get a stick on it. So the faceoff's going to come back to the Allen zone. 4:10 left in the first, and we mentioned Wednesday night, Allen scoring first, which was about 5 minutes into the game. Utah responded with a goal 2 minutes later. So really, when you give up a goal like that, and against a good offensive team like Allen, that's going to happen sometimes. How do you respond the first 2 minutes after a goal? Does it become 2-0 Allen, or do you find a way to tie up the game, or do you at least get some offensive zone time and just kind of reestablish yourself? Both teams have had their chances here in the first period. It does look like a good goaltending matchup between Miner for the Grizzlies and Parasini for Allen. Americans win the draw, and they'll throw it into the Grizzlies zone as it goes to the right corner. Allen makes a nice move as they'll throw it back towards the left corner. Utah gets hit along their end wall. Allen playing a physical brand of hockey here so far. They usually do over there in Allen, Texas. It's over in the left corner. Grizzlies' Andrew Nelson skates around their net. Now it goes back over towards the right side. Utah picks it off. Grizz get it out to the right. 2-on-2. Left wing shot. Saved by Parasini. That was taken by Cameron Wright. Rebound goes out to the left corner. Allen will lift it out towards center ice. Andrew Nelson tried to play it with a high stick, but didn't. Now the Grizzlies skate in. Martin with a shot. That one goes wide. Parasini might have gotten a piece of it as it rolls back towards the right corner. As Sekos in the corner along with Dakota Raby, 2 Americans. As Allen will chip it back along the near wall. As the Americans start to spread the ice after they get control of it. This goes back towards the left side. Allen will feed a cross-ice pass. It bounces into the left corner, and it's going to be icing with 3:05 left here in the first. Allen leads 1-0 as Liam Finley scored about 2 minutes ago. First intermission, we'll talk with Guy Carenza and get his thoughts. There's also a lot of sports action around the world, and we'll give you some scores from around the NHL, ECHL, college football, and all that stuff. That's going to be during the first intermission as faceoff's going to come back into the Allen zone As the Americans win the faceoff, they skate from right to left. Allen in their specialty jerseys, and they are really good looking tonight. As the Americans skate towards the near side, and they're really doing a good job spreading the ice tonight. As the Americans will get it to the right side, they cross center ice and dump it in, and Utah chases after it. Now it looks like it's going to be icing once again. So it almost looks like that's Allen's offensive strategy. You know, they're going to spend a lot of time in their own zone. They're going to spread the ice and see if they can throw a pass from about blue line to blue line and see if they can find a way to enter the zone with some momentum, either get a 2-on-2 or a 2-on-1 or maybe a 3-on-2, and then see if they can find somebody cutting towards the middle, or at least seeing if you can get one of those talented shooters like Hank Chrome or, you know, Jack Combs, or maybe even Zach Pachiro, who can score goals. Get one of those guys open in either of the circles. Looks like a pretty good offensive approach led by Chad Costello, their head coach. Looks like he's got a pretty good game plan offensively for tonight. Allen wins the draw once again. The Americans won quite a few faceoffs here early on as a puck along the near side. Now Allen will throw a left wing pass. They enter the offensive zone. Leopard gets it taken away as it's dumped into the left corner. Utah spins it around. Now he goes back out to center ice. Allen back in their own zone gets it as Utah couldn't get it at neutral ice. Left wing pass. Allen skates towards the left circle. They look to center it. Now it goes back to the left side. Now skating is Massicott. Yes, he'll feed it to the near goal line. Allen, centering pass, shot, saved by Minor. Puck ends up to the right side as Utah couldn't clear it out. Allen on the right side, just outside the circle. They skate towards the middle. Cutler with a trip, and the official spotted it. Boy, Allen tried to skate around Brandon Cutler, and that was Liam Finley, the goal scorer. Got around Cutler, and Brandon tripped him up, and the official spotted it. It was a good call. 2:04 is left in the first period, and the Americans are going to be on the power play first tonight. They lead 1-0. Allen this season is 17.9% on the power play. 2 minutes for tripping. Brandon Cutler is in the box. Time of penalty, 17:56. Last night, Allen picked up a power play goal. They were 1 for 3. Utah was 1 for 5 on the power play last night. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. They say Cutler, although the score bug had, and it looked like it was Cutler from what I saw, but it looked like the score bug's got Bryson Martin in the box instead. Martin was nearby Cutler, so it's either Cutler or Martin in the box for Utah. And it does look like they gave the trip to Bryson Martin instead of Cutler. 2:04 is left in the first period, as looks like the best of the three crowds this weekend. There are very few empty seats over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. That's certainly good to see. We like to see big crowds, and I think, you know, with the Grizzlies being the final game of the 8-game road trip, you like seeing a big crowd because you might need a little bit of a pick-me-up, considering that it's been a 2-week road trip, and even though it's been a successful one on the ice, the Grizzlies obviously would love to get back home to the friendly confines of Maverick Center. Draw's going to be in the right circle. Bryson Martin is in the box for 2 minutes for tripping. Cutler was nearby. I thought the penalty was on Cutler, but it appears to be Bryson Martin that gets the tripping call. And it's the first power play of the game. Jack Combs takes a face-off against Sekos, but it's Sekos that wins the draw. Utah tries to clear it out. Colt Sossaman kept it in the high slot. Sossaman gets the puck as he threw it to the right left side, now back towards him. Now to Hank Crone. He takes a shot, and he goes wide off the boards. Allen flips it to the left corner. Grizzlies over there battling. Goes to the left circle. Crone skates in and takes a shot. On it goes wide. He looked for the top corner and missed. As Allen to the right side near the corner. Right trying to chip it out. It goes back to Pachiro, now to Sossaman. Sossaman to the right corner as Hargrove feeds it up top for Sossaman. Colton skates towards his left. He'll get it to Crone. Crone wearing number 67. He had 1 goal and 1 assist last night. Now back up top for Sossaman. He takes a shot. Saved by Minor. Utah clears it out. Good job by the Grizzlies in front, not letting Allen get a second chance after a bounced off a Minor. Quick outlet pass. Allen back in the offensive zone. Americans roll it back to the right side. Allen to the right point. They throw it to Sossaman. One-timer. On it goes high. It stays in play as it bounced off the glass. As Sossaman feeds it to the right side. One-timer. Saved by Minor. Grizzlies throw it to the left corner. It's still 1-0. 50 seconds left in the power play. As Allen in the left point keeps it in. Looks like the Americans are going to be good despite their tough start to the season. Allen gets it up top to Sossaman. He skates towards his right. He'll get it to the right circle. Back to Sossaman. One-timer. Saved by Minor. And Trent holds on with a quick glove stop as there's 39 seconds left in the first period, 35 seconds left in the Allen power play. Good stop by Trent Miner. Allen, the Grizzlies cleared it out once, and then Allen, with a nice outlet pass from Parasini, threw it right back into the offensive zone. And so the Americans, if you're a neutral observer here, or if you're an Allen fan tuning in, you have to like the way that they're approaching this thing offensively. A pretty good game plan, and they got some smart players. Sossaman is a really good point man on that power play. Off the draw, Allen wins it. Looks like they made a line change as the Americans skate towards the right circle now to the far goal line. Shot saved by Miner. Rebound goes out to the right side. They feed it across. Allen gets it back to the right side. The angle's too wide to know who it is. I think that's Mallory. He throws it to the right circle. Now back to the left as Allen chips it back up top for Mallory. As Chris will throw it to the left side. Now back to Mallory. One-timer saved by Miner. Rebound goes out to the left corner, and the Grizzlies will clear it out as they throw it over the head of Mallory. And that'll just about do it for the first period. Bryson Martin's out of the penalty box right now as there's 4 seconds left in the period. Allen will nudge it ahead, and time runs out on the Americans as Trent Miner and company did a good job on the penalty kill, keeping it a 1-0 game as both teams head to the locker room. Allen scored with about 5 minutes left in the first period. In fact, it was 14:37, and Liam Finley, with his second of the year, Jack Combs, picked up the assist, and that is his 5th helper, and this is 8th game of the season. Pretty good offensive attack by the Americans, and you could tell with Chad Costello, he's made a few adjustments here from game to game. I think the Americans, despite their 2-4-1 record, looks like they're going to score some goals this season. They've got a pretty good attack. Good job by Trent Miner and company to keep it a 1-0 game. How about Allen, though? It looked like they had about 6 shots on their power play. Through one period, the Americans 18 shots, the Grizzlies with 10. So Trent Miner stopped 17 of 18. Luke Parasini for Allen stopped all 10 that he saw. We'll come back at first intermission coverage. The Siegfried and Jensen intermission reports coming up next. Once again, the score after 20 minutes of play, the Allen Americans 1 and the Utah Grizzlies 0. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey. First intermission over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, formerly known as the Allen Event Center. Allen leads 1-0, as with about 5.5 minutes left in the first period, Jack Combs threw a long-range pass that connected to Liam Finley. Finley was behind the Grizzlies' defense, skated in from the right side towards the crease, and he made a really nice move on Trent Miner. It wouldn't surprise me if that ends up as one of the top plays of the week in the league. As it looked like Finley and Miner, was really at a position who really knows what Finley was going to do. He ended up going top shelf over Miner's shoulder, and that made it a 1-0 game. And it stayed a 1-0 contest throughout the rest of the first period, and that included an Allen power play. It looked like initially that Brandon Cutler had tripped up an Allen skater, and I think it was Finley that drew the penalty. But it ended up being Bryson Martin that went to the box. Martin was nearby Cutler. It's possible it could have easily been Martin, even though from the angle I saw, Cutler was nearby with his stick extended. But Bryson Martin got the tripping Miner, 17:56 in. Allen had no less than 5 shots on that power play, but Trent Miner really did a good job in net. He has stopped 17 of 18. Allen's Luke Parasini has stopped all 10 that he has seen. For the Grizzlies, in their 10 shots, Dylan Fitz has 3, and then 7 other skaters with 1 shot. My pick to click Johnny Walker, along with Cameron Wright, Zach Sekos, Penner, Raby, Pouncey, and Nilsson each have 1 shot. For Allen, Colton Sauceman led the way with 4 shots. He was the quarterback on Allen's last power play, and I think at least 2 of Sauceman's shots came on that power play situation. Jackson Leopard with 3 shots, and then 2 shots each for Chris Mallory, Liam Finley, and Hank Crone. One of Finley's 2 shots found the back of the net. So it's the Americans 1 and the Grizzlies 0 after 20 minutes of play. Both teams will skate 5-on-5 to start the second. It's already been a successful road trip for the Grizzlies, regardless of what happens tonight, as they are 5-2 through 7 games of the 8-game trip. And I'd like to see Grisby do whatever Biscuit the Bulldog did there. Biscuit putting together some nice dance moves out there on the ice. I want to see Grisby doing that during the next Grizzlies home game. I want to see Grisby at center ice doing some dance moves. I know he can do it. I know he's a big guy, but I bet Grisby moves around pretty well. I want to see him on the center ice logo, and I want to see Grisby dance a little bit. You know, shake it to the left and then move to the right. We saw Biscuit do it there on Flow Sports. I want to see Grisby do the same thing at the next home game. Remember, the Grizzlies start a 6-game homestand this upcoming Thursday. That's right, it's a rare Thursday home game for the Grizzlies. Pre-game show at about, I'd say 6:40 or so, and face-off at 7:10 here at Maverick Center. And then next Friday is going to be the annual Pooch on the Pond game where you can bring your dog to the contest. Remember, you do have to get a ticket for your dog. I think it's like you get a special deal online, or you call the Grizzlies during weekday business hours, 801-988-8000. I think it's like a $28 deal, you know, ticket for you, a ticket for your dog. You sit in a special section and you watch the game together, you and your dog. And you get to sit in sections with other good-looking dogs, and it should be a fun night. The annual Pooch on the Pond. And it's also an AFCU Friday, where tickets start at just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. I think that's a separate deal from the Pooch on the Pond deal where you bring your dog to the game. I think that's a different ticket package. That's going to be on Friday. Next Saturday, the Grizzlies are actually off. There's going to be an event at Maverick Center, and then the series will conclude on Sunday. And do note that Sunday home games at Maverick Center this season start 2 hours later than normal. It's going to be a 3 o'clock start, Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. And in terms of the standings, it's the top 2 teams in the Mountain Division. Idaho right now has 14 standings points. The Grizzlies have 12. And Idaho, with a record of 7-2, they are at Rapid City. That game will start in about 20 minutes. Grizzlies are 6-3. And who knows, they could be 7-3 after tonight, or they could be 6-4. They could be 6-3-0-1 or something like that. Either way, the Grizzlies are going to have a winning record, and that's going to be fun to see the rival Idaho Steelheads back at Maverick Center for the first time since they were eliminated from the playoffs last year. That's right, the last time the Steelheads were at Maverick Center was the final regular season game where they were eliminated from the postseason. And so Idaho, that was the first time in team history that Idaho missed the playoffs, and they're off to a good start this season. So that's going to be a fun series. And then the next week, the Trois Rivières Lions, or the Three Rivers Lions, that's kind of the English version of it. They're going to be at Maverick Center for a 3-game and 3-day series. Friday, November 25th is going to be the first game of that set. And then the second annual Pride Night presented by FedEx will be on Saturday, November 26th. That's going to be a 7:10 start. And then the series finale and the homestand finale will be Sunday at 3:10. So the Lions taking on the Grizzlies for the first time ever. So we'll see what the Trois Rivières Lions have in store for the Grizzlies a couple weeks from now at Maverick Center. When we come back to the Grizzlies intermission report presented by Siegfried and Jensen, we'll give you some scores from around the world of sports. We'll also talk with Guy Carenza and get his thoughts on what he saw during this first period. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey. Welcome back to Grizzlies hockey. Allen leads 1-0. We're about halfway through the intermission. Second period action will begin in about 10 minutes of real time. Some games from around the league. Newfoundland defeats Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals 4-1. Jeff Carr, good to see him as the new head coach of the Admirals, former Grizzlies assistant back in the 2016-2017 season. He also has some ties to the Ogden Mustangs club. And he's been the head coach of the Knoxville Ice Bears. He gets his chance in this league. It's a tough task, though, and he's taking on a pretty good Newfoundland Growlers team. Newfoundland goes to 9-0-1 on the season. Norfolk drops to 1-10. One other final, Reading defeats Maine 4-1, as Reading goes to 3-4-1 this season. Maine goes to 4-5. Second intermission, Worcester leads Adirondack 1-0. Worcester picked up their first loss of the season last night. They are 9-1 on the year. The Lions in Jacksonville are tied at 1 after 2 periods, and that game's going to head to the third. Remember, the Lions will be at Maverick Center later on in the homestand. Checking the roster to see if there are any former Grizzlies. Looks like Thomas Seguin, who was on the Grizzlies playoff roster last year. He was like the third goalie towards the end of last season. He is one of the Lions goaltenders. And it looks like Matthew Brodeur's on their team. He's not a former Grizzly, but Brennan Saulnier's on there. He played for Rapid City a few years ago. Cedric Momeni, the former Rapid City rush forward, he's on their roster. Montminy scored some big goals against the Grizzlies in years past as a member of the Rapid City Rush. It seemed like the majority of them were at the Monument. So it'll be interesting to see when the Lions are going to be at Maverick Center a couple weeks from now. That game is tied 1-1, the Lions and the Jacksonville Icemen. Also after 2 periods, Florida and Greenville are tied at 1. After 2 periods, Fort Wayne leads Wheeling 2-1. We talked about Fort Wayne and Toledo being a big rivalry. Fort Wayne and Wheeling is about as heated a rivalry as you're going to get in this league. Also, after 2 periods of play, Kalamazoo and Toledo are tied at 1. Halfway through the second period, Indy and Cincinnati are tied at 2. First intermission, Kansas City leads Tulsa 1-0. Iowa was at Kansas City last night. Tonight, they are at Wichita. No score after 1 period. Last night, Kansas City won 8-5 over Iowa, but former Grizzly Matthew Boucher had 2 goals and 2 assists and had 11 shots on goal for Iowa so far this season. Boucher in 5 games. Tonight is game number 6 for him with the Heartlanders. He's got 5 goals and 3 assists, but he does have a -7 rating, as unfortunately the Heartlanders have given up a ton of goals this season. And just underway in about 20 minutes, Idaho is at Rapid City. Idaho is 7-2 on the season. Rapid City is 3-6. Some top 25 college football scores. Like earlier today, I watched Alabama squeak by and defeat Ole Miss, as Ole Miss led by former Corner Canyon quarterback Jackson Dart. But Alabama was able to get the victory, 30-24. Other games have gone final. 14th ranked Penn State defeats Maryland 30-0. 16th ranked NC State drops a game as they lose to Boston College 21-20. 3rd ranked Michigan defeats Nebraska 34-3. 10th ranked Clemson defeats Louisville 31-16. Purdue defeats 21st ranked Illinois 31-24. 7th ranked LSU defeats Arkansas 13-10. And if I saw it right, LSU actually clinches a spot in the SEC championship game with Alabama beating Ole Miss. LSU has the tiebreaker over Alabama. It appears that LSU has clinched a spot in the SEC championship game with the 13-10 victory over Arkansas. Tennessee opens up a can on Missouri. They win 66-24. Second-ranked Ohio State defeats Indiana 56-14. 20th ranked Notre Dame defeats Navy 35-34. Vanderbilt gets their first conference win of the season. They defeat 24th ranked Kentucky 24-21. Hey, Florida State's ranked in the top 25. Who knew? 13 minutes left in the second quarter. They lead Syracuse 14-3. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. TCU and Texas are scoreless. TCU is 9-0 on the season, and Texas is 6-3. And some other top 25 action. Games still in progress. At the half, 19th ranked Kansas State leads Baylor 17-3. At the half, number 1 ranked Georgia leads Mississippi State 17-12. Also at the half, how about this one for an interesting score? 25th ranked Washington leads 6th ranked Oregon 13-10. And halfway through the second quarter, North Carolina leads Wake Forest 21-14. We'll tell Guy to put on the TCU Texas game on the TV that we got here in the studio. We'll talk with him here shortly, as that's your top 25 scores. We'll get some NHL scores in as Guy tries to work the TV. Games have gone final. Edmonton defeats Florida 4-2. Ottawa over Philadelphia 4-1. First intermission, Nashville leads New York 1-0. Halfway through the second period, Columbus leads the Islanders 2-1. Devils lead the Coyotes 4-2 that game in the second intermission. Maple Leafs lead the Canucks 3-2. Also after 2 periods, Penguins lead the Canadiens 2-1. And also after 2 periods, Bruins and the Sabres are tied at 1. Guy Carenza successfully got the remote control over to the TCU-Texas game, which is currently scoreless halfway through the second quarter. I promise we'll watch the Grizzlies and Allen Americans game. It was kind of funny. The one year Chris Hagan was out as PA announcer, some guy got really upset because the new PA announcer had the audacity to watch some college football before warm-ups even started for the Grizzlies game. I don't remember who it was. It was early in the season a couple years ago. But, Guy, we're having some fun on a Saturday night. Utah is looking for the 3-game sweep, but Allen with an 18-10 edge on the shot count. And it almost seems like Chad Costello has a pretty good offensive game plan laid out for his team tonight. Spread the ice, to utilize. I mean, if the Grizzlies have the speed, they're going to utilize some other aspects of their game. They're able to get behind the Grizzlies' defense on one occasion, and that's the only goal of the game as Liam Finley made a nice move on Trent Miner. What was your assessment of that first period?
Tyson, I didn't think the Grizzlies played bad. I just think that Allen was ready to play. They got a lot riding on this game. They're last in the division right now. Chad Costello wasn't very happy we saw last game. He had his team come out, and they came in with a game plan, and they've executed so far. The Grizzlies weren't bad. There was just one mishap, which led to the Finley goal, where he split the D and really made a beautiful play on Miner to score. The Grizzlies are still in this game, but don't forget, they're just at the end of the road trip, a long road trip, and they're probably ready to get home. But they got to come out, and they got to continue to play, and that's Coach Kanasowicz, right? He's great at getting his guys ready to come out with that energy, and I expect them to come out in the second. And the Grizzlies are a big second-period team, so this game is far from over, but it's going to be tough to overcome that fatigue, especially at the end of the trip.
That was a big penalty kill late in the first period. You think about Allen had no less than 5 shots there. The Grizzlies cleared it out, and it seemed like Allen got back in the offensive zone so quickly. But the Grizzlies held strong, and even though Miner allowed that one goal, which hats off to Liam Finley, that wasn't Miner's fault. That was pretty much a breakaway, and he made a really nice move. Otherwise, Miner's been outstanding, stopping 17 of 18. He's been very busy, but he's done the job.
Yeah, he has been busy, but he's been standing tall, and he's up to the task for it. And that's the reason why the Grizzlies are so great, is because they have that goaltending depth. I mean, any given night you can put Miner, Parikh, or a Metcalf in net, and they're always going to be great because they're just great players.
What do you think is going to get that first goal tonight?
Well, my pick to click is Taryn Fizer, so I got a lot riding on that, so that's my guy.
Johnny Walker's my pick, and hopefully he'll be the guy that gets that first goal. Also, watch out for Cameron Wright. He played pretty well in the first period. And Dylan Fitz, once again with 3 shots and probably could have had more. Boy, it's so tough to track shots, though, on this Flow Sports feed, especially with kind of the tint of the camera. Just like, does the goaltender make the save? Does it go wide? You almost have to hesitate for a second to figure out where the shots end up going sometimes. But Fitz has looked pretty good so far.
Yeah, Fitz has looked good, and he's one of those guys that brings a lot of energy into his game. And I expect him to go out and do that in the second period and bring some energy, bring some life into the Grizzlies here and kind of get them rolling.
We'll talk with Guy during the second intermission as both teams have hit the ice for second period play. We'll come back in 1 minute and have the second period. Allen in their specialty jerseys as it's military night over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. They lead the Grizzlies 1-0. You're listening to Utah Grizzlies Hockey, presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Are about to start second period action. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies 1 time zone away. Over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. It's the 8th and final game of the road trip. Utah's won 4 in a row. They are 5-2 on the trip. If we're talking about very impressive individual performances on the trip, Zach Sekos has a point in 4 straight. He's got 4 goals in his last 3 games. Cameron Wright in his last 4 games came into play tonight with 2 goals and 6 assists. And so He's been outstanding as of late, and in particular in the Grizzlies' 4-game winning streak with 8 points. Andrew Nelson's got 1 goal and 8 assists over his last 4 games. He's the reigning league player of the week. And really the power play. You know, Utah's not been on the power play tonight, but in the previous 6 games coming into play this evening, they're 7 for 18 on the power play, including 5 of 6 against Kansas City last week in a 7-3 victory. 20 minutes are on the clock in the second period. Grizzlies are going to be skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on Mixler. Allen wins the draw, and they'll throw it from blue line to blue line. Tapped off a stick and goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. No icing as Connor McDonald feeds it towards Trent Miner, who covers up. Almost looked like McDonald was trying to hit Andrew Nelson behind the net, but it ended up gliding towards the Grizzlies goaltender. Miner covers up as we get our first whistle 13 seconds into the second period. Jackson Leopard talking with one of the linesmen. Leopard's been pretty strong for Allen this season, or he was strong last year. He had 20 goals. He's got 1 goal this season. That came in the third period of last night's game. Sekos will take the draw, the former Clarkson University product. He's been outstanding on faceoffs. He wins another one. Gets over to Nilsson, who throws it ahead to the right side. No icing as Parasini to the side of his net. Will throw it to the right side. Grizzlies in the attack zone just outside the right circle. They feed it across to Nilsson. Andrew with a shot. On somehow that goes wide. So he tried to go top shelf on Parasini. Now 2-on-2. Allen steps over the line, left circle, shot. That gets, looks like Miner makes the save. Trent holds on. Boy, for a second, I thought a Grizzly over there had blocked it, but the shot went to Miner, and he made a glove stop. So we get a whistle 35 seconds into the second period. Looks like by far the best crowd of the 3-game series. Hey, there's my cousin in attendance. All right there, middle of the screen. He's clapping and having a good time. Good to see my cousin hanging out at Allen Event Center. I think I know that guy. We're related. Second cousins. As the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. And it's won by Utah. Grizzlies towards center ice. Nudge to the left side. Raby chases after it. Allen throws it back into their own zone. It's the Americans skate around their nets. It's Allen back to the near side. Now they'll toss it to center ice. Allen gets into the zone over to the left side as they'll feed it back to the right corner. And the American Skelly gets to the left point. And the shot goes wide and bounces off into Miner's pads. Trent covers up as that shot was taken by Massicott. Zachary's his first name, first-year pro. He played for Peoria a little bit in the SBHL last year. Draw's going to stay in the Grizzlies zone. 18:56 left in the second. We've had quite a few whistles here early on in the second period. Biscuit the Bulldog entertaining the crowd, taking some pictures with some young fans. Liam Finley, Allen's goal scorer. He scored about 5.5 minutes left in the first period as he wins the face-off. Allen to the left side, throws it behind the net. Now it goes to the right corner. Utah gets pushed in. Taking it is Cutler. He'll feed it out to center ice, but couldn't connect on the pass to Pfizer. Now Allen back in their own zone has it. They skate from left to right. Americans will skate down the middle. They cross center ice, and they'll dump it in as Hank Crone chases after it in the corner. It bounced off his stick, and it goes to Utah. As Raby nudges ahead to center ice, Penner will step over the offensive line, skate towards the corner. He gets hit. Raby skates over there trying to take over the play. Now Raby to the left circle. As he gets back checked, Allen pokes it away. As the Americans, Liam Finley feeds it to the slot. Glances off an Allen stick. Utah throws a blue line to blue line pass. Walker skates in. Right circle. Shot. That gets blocked. Now Walker gets upended. Grizzlies round the net. Walker right side. Chips it across. Colatarchi over towards Raby. He overskated it. Now taking it is Ryan Gagnon. Gagnon wearing number 16, normally number 3, but on the specialty jersey night, as Allen will ice the puck as he passes incomplete as they're trying to hit a guy just outside the Utah blue line. And so the whistle blows with 17:50 left in the second period. The Americans lead 1-0. They've just about doubled up the Grizzlies on shots here so far. It was 18-10 in the first period and 1-0 here so far in the second. So 19-10 on shots through the first 22 minutes of play. Penner will take the draw. He's got Walker to his left. Anthony Durham will take the faceoff for Allen. Durham wins it. Allen will ice the puck again. Arm is raised by the linesman. 17:44 left in the second as we get yet another whistle. And the faceoff's going to come back towards Allen goaltender Luke Parasini. Grizzlies this season are about the middle of the pack in terms of shots per game. You know, they're 10th at 31.56, so it seems like they've been somewhere between 12 and 16 most of the year. Grizzlies have allowed a lot of shots. They've already allowed 19 so far, and they are 19th in the league, allowing 31 shots per game. Puck goes to the right corner, deep in the Allen zone, as now Walker loses it. Allen clears it out to center. Now they dump it in as they make a line change. Colatarchi will skate deep in his own zone to get it, as he'll nudge it ahead to Nilsson. Now across to Pfizer, back to Nilsson. Andrew gets around to Skater. Now he's at neutral ice. He'll feed it to the right side. Utah steps over the line. Grizz tried to find a guy in the right circle, and that didn't connect. Allen will throw a pass over to the left circle. Shot! Saved by Minor. And Trent holds on as Allen once again got a guy behind the Grizzlies defense, and it was Hargrove. Hargrove skated to the left circle, fired a blast, but Minor made the save, and the impressive thing is Trent didn't allow a rebound. 17:08 left in the second period. We got yet another whistle as the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. So the Grizzlies, you know, kind of uncharacteristic for them to allow as many shots as they have so far this season, but they are 19th in the league in shots allowed. And already they've allowed at least 20 shots against Allen. But when you got goaltenders like Trent Minor and Garrett Metcalf and Lucas Preek, you know, they can close the door and you can be aggressive offensively because you know you got goaltenders that can do the job. As the puck ends up in the far corner, as Allen feeds it to the left point. It didn't get all the way there. Grizzlies anticipated it. Now to the left side for Strong. He skates in as he bounces off the end wall, and he gets cut off pretty well by Saucerman. Now to the right side, Mallory in the corner with Saucerman. It gets kicked back towards the left corner. Utah gets it. They'll throw it up top for Martin. He'll skate towards his right. He'll take a lefty shot. On it goes wide, looking for a redirection from Sekos' stick. Now Allen will carry it out to center ice. 3-on-2. Americans step over the line. They look to center it, and Allen with a shot saved. Now looking for the backdoor wraparound shot and a score. Allen skated around the net, looked for a wraparound, and they put it past Trent Minor as the lights go out in Allen as they have taken a 2-0 lead. Jackson Leopard was in the area, so was Colton Hargrove. Well, it's tough to see with the lights out who skated to the bench first as Leopard took the shot, then around the net. Allen kind of hacked away. It wasn't the first try, but it looked like it was the second, and the Americans get back on the board as everybody with their red goal lights hangs them in high in the air as the fans chant red. Red with the Americans goal song. It's the Americans 2 and the Grizzlies nothing. 16:23 left in the second period. Grizz win the draw as Nilsson back in his own zone trying to get it to Raby, but it stayed at Nilsson. Now he feeds it to the left side for Cutler. Brandon will dump it in. Icing is called as looked like Cutler was in his own zone, or he was at neutral ice and really just tried to get it out to Pfizer. Pfizer racing down there as fast as he could to try to negate the icing, but Allen was back defensively, so icing is called on Utah. 16:11 left in the second. As the Americans have found a second goal here early on in the second period. Zach Pachiro, you know, we saw Leopard and Hargrove. They got the assist, but it's Pachiro that got the goal. Allen wins the face-off. They're behind Utah's net. And now Nilsson gets pushed into Utah's net, and he gets dislodged as a whistle blows. 16:03 left in the second period. Allen leads 2-0. The time of the Pachiro wraparound goal, 3:37 into the second period. Allen has outshot Utah 21-11 here so far. So the Americans are on pace for just about 40-plus shots on the Grizzlies. Utah will be home for 6 straight games beginning next Thursday against the Idaho Steelheads. That's 5 days from now. As Utah gets the puck, Dakota Raby will feed it to the left side for Cutler. Brandon skates into the offensive zone. I try to get it across. Allen picked it off. Allen comes back the other way, 2-on-3. They step over the offensive line. Now they'll spin it around the boards. Pachiro gets cut off by Pfizer. Utah lifts it high into the air as it bounces at center ice. Raby gets around a skater, steps over the offensive line. He tried to poke it towards the slot. Allen kept it along the near wall. As Allen has the puck, and they'll bounce it to center ice off of Pfizer. Cutler dumps it in. As Parasini behind his net will play it. Well, it looks like action has stopped. It's kind of interesting. Allen was at their blue line. Looked like they intentionally fired it towards Cutler. I don't know if it was intentional. It bounced off of Pfizer. Looks like the faceoff's going to come back to center ice. 15:24 left in the second. We've had quite a few whistles here early on. The one thing the Grizzlies haven't had tonight is a power play. Allen is 0 for 1 on the power play. Utah's yet to go to the power. So I think one of the things Allen talked about, they took 12 penalties in the first 2 games of this series. They played a really disciplined game, not going to the box. And that's a big part as to why they have a 2-0 lead. Walker will dump it in. It hits off a Parasini from about 3/4 of the length of the ice as the Americans skate from left to right. They'll feed it to the right side. Now to the circle. Shot saved by Minor. Rebound goes out to the left side as Allen tries to wrap it around the boards. It's cut off by Dylan Fitz as he'll throw it across. Now Utah will get a blue line to blue line pass in. Did it hit off of Fitz? No, it didn't. Icing is on the Grizzlies. 14:50 is left in the second. We got yet another whistle. Grizzlies hockey all season long is brought to you by Utah Operation Lifesaver. C-Tracks, think train. Well, think about it this way. If it's you versus a train, I think the train's chances are awfully good that they're going to win that one-on-one battle. Utah Operation Lifesaver, a proud partner of Utah Grizzlies hockey for quite a while. I mean, they've been the title sponsor for Grizzlies radio broadcasts over the last few years. As the Americans win the faceoff, they skate around the net. Now they're behind it as Allen thinking about the Michigan play, but they throw it to the left circle instead. As Allen gets hit in the corner, Bryson Martin skates over there. Kolatarchi looking nearby. As now to the left circle, Allen shot save. Rebound goes out to Kolatarchi. Tried to clear it out. Allen kept it in the left wing. Allen will bounce it off the end wall as it goes around the net. Now to the right point. Sossaman with a shot. Saved by Minor. Trent holds on as Allen's doing a pretty good job keeping pucks in the offensive zone. They're doing a good job, their defensemen at the point, keeping pucks in the offensive zone, and Allen's able to generate some opportunities out of that. Trent Minor's already been pretty busy. He's already been almost as busy as he was last night, as Allen already with 22 shots, and we still have 14:21 left in the second period. It's the Americans 2 and the Grizzlies nothing. Good crowd over in Allen. Draws in the right circle, and it's won by the Americans. Leopard gets it. He fires a shot that's blocked right in front of Minor. Grizzlies still in their own zone as they'll chip it across, running down there along the right wing. Allen wins the foot race. They throw it to the point. Leopard throws it towards the middle. Utah picks it off. Grizzlies get it to Sekos. Left side, he takes a shot. Saved by Parasini. And it deflects out of play off the protective netting, as Sekos tried to go stick side on Parasini, but the Allen goaltenders looked good tonight as he deflected it out of play. 13:58 left in the second. It's the Americans 2 and the Grizzlies nothing. We're back in 1 minute. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Remember, the Grizzlies will be back at Maverick Center next Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, November 20th, the 3-game set against the Idaho Steelheads. I'm looking forward to the Thanksgiving weekend, a 3-game series against the Trois Rivières Lions, maybe the Three Rivers Lions. We'll have to get clarification before that series. They're taking on Jacksonville tonight, and that should be an interesting set. A couple former Rapid City Rush skaters are on that Lions club. And it'll be the first time that the Lions will ever face the Grizzlies. That's a 3-game set, November 25th and 26th at 7:10. Don't forget, Saturday, November 26th is the second annual Grizzlies Pride Night presented by FedEx. And then Sunday at 3 o'clock, November 27th, concludes the 6-game homestand. Utah's won 3 in a row. They are 6-3 on the season. But Allen's doing a good job neutralizing the pace. They're really holding on to the puck, and in the first 6 minutes of the second period, they've already got 1 goal. Pachiro getting his 4th of the year. As it draws in the Allen zone, Utah with a shot. Parasini makes the save as it goes out to center ice. Utah backs it out in their own zone as the Grizz skate from right to left in their white jerseys tonight. as Allen's wearing a specialty jersey. Allen trips up Utah at neutral ice, but no call. Action near the Grizzlies bench. Utah enters the zone. They feed it to the high slot for Sekos. He takes a shot that goes wide. Now rolls along the far wall. Strong back to right. Both guys named Cam. Now Nilsson over to Sekos. One-timer. That gets blocked out in front. Utah looking for a backhand shot. Strong gets cut off in front by Mallory as the Americans out in front of the net take the puck as they'll throw it to Jackson Leopard. He'll get it to center ice. The Americans step over the offensive line. Leopard veers off to the left. He'll take a shot, and that one goes wide. And the rebound goes back to the left side. Leopard with a shot. Glove saved by Minor. Trent holds on. There was some traffic to his right, but Trent's able to make the clean stop as he has now saved 22 of 24. Both teams make line changes. Trent Minor gets some water. Grizzlies have a pretty good 1-2-3 combination in net. Trent Minor's starting tonight. His second straight game. He stopped 31 of 33 last night. Garrett Metcalf won 3 games in a row, 2 against Kansas City, and this past Wednesday in Allen in this series opener, and he is 3-0 this season. Lucas Preek, who's currently injured, he is 2-2 on the season with a 2.51 goals against average. As the draw won by Allen, they'll skate around Minor's net, and now they kick it out to the far side. Utah takes it away. Grizzlies skate along the right wing, cross center ice, and dump it in. Utah gets over to the corner as looks like a glove falls off as Utah pins it to the near side. Now Allen gets it back. They skate from left to right. They cross center ice. Skelly skates towards his left. He steps over the line. Left circle shot. Saved by Minor. Rebound goes out to the far side. Utah will pitch it ahead. It goes past Pfizer. Left point. Allen shot. Saved Minor. He holds on as he gets a pat on the pad by Joey Koatarchi. As Allen once again very aggressive offensively as we get another whistle with 12:28 left in the second period. Allen is up to 26 shots on Trent Minor. The Grizzlies have taken 12. Draw's going to stay in the Grizzlies zone, and Utah wins the faceoff and clears it out. Actually, we don't know what happened. Allen had the puck after he saw a fan at their own zone. As the Americans to the right side in the offensive zone again. Leopard chips over to the right corner. Now he skates over there as McDonald in a battle. As McDonald hacking away, so is Nilsson as it nudges towards Fitz. Fitz battling now with Olenek. Colton's his first name. First game he's played for Allen this year. As Fitz holds up Olenek. Olenek is only 5'7", 165. As they continue to battle. Olenek now with the puck as he'll skate towards the corner. Durham's over there as well for Allen, as now Olenek's pinned to the wall by Nilsson. Now Allen will get it over to the left side. Allen to the left wing, shot saved by Minor. Rebound, second look, and then Trent holds on as Andrew Nilsson now looks like Johnny Walker wants to get after Jared Bethune. Nilsson's got tied up with somebody. Now Walker wrestles down Bethune to the ice. The linesman furiously trying to step in as Johnny Walker and Bethune tried to get a left in, but it looked like he hit more of the linesman than he did Walker. While Nilsson was battling out in front of the net with Olenek. Nilsson's got a big-time size advantage against Olenek, but props to him for getting out in front of the net. And it looked like Jared Bethune was out there hacking away as well. And then looked like Bethune was on top of Nilsson and Olenek, and then Johnny Walker came in and wrestled around with Olenek, with Bethune. Walker looks like he's a little bit too aggressive. He's going to the penalty box. 11:38 left in the second period. As Johnny Walker, it looked like he really wanted to get after somebody. The linesman said, just go to the box. It'll be 2 minutes. Looks like somebody's also going to the box for Allen. It is Ryan Gagnon, who normally wears number 3, but he's wearing number 16 on the specialty jersey. And there's a graphic that says, cheer this guy. They're showing Gagnon, and I bet they're going to show Walker. Yep, and they do on Flow Sports, and it says, boo this guy. So I don't know if it's going to be matching, and we'll stay 5-on-5, or if we're going to skate 4-on-4. There's 11:38 left in the second period. Allen leads 2-0. So Johnny Walker gets 2 minutes. I wonder if he got 2 more minutes than Gagnon. It's kind of interesting. As Bethune was going after, but it's Gagnon in the box. Gagnon also gets 2 minutes. There's a guy sitting behind Johnny Walker. It's got a Charlie Conway, a D2 Mighty Ducks throwback jersey. As they show both guys in the penalty box back and forth, they're booing Johnny Walker and they're cheering their guy, Ryan Gagnon, as they're having some fun on Flow Sports on this Saturday night. Flow Sports is the exclusive video stream provider of the league, and we'll also have the games on audio on YouTube. That's right, YouTube with the audio stream. Yeah, I know what YouTube's known for, but we're trying to paint a picture for you here tonight, as it looks like it's a good crowd at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. So it looks like 2 minutes each for Gagnon and Walker, and it doesn't look like either team's going to have a power play. We'll see when they go with a wide shot if it's going to be 5-on-5 or 4-on-4. Both guys get matching roughing minors, and it looks like we are skating 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. Could be an opportunity for the Grizzlies to get back in this game. They have scored 2 goals in a 4-on-4 situation. They've also allowed 2 4-on-4 goals, including one last night. Secco skates in right side, and it looks like the linesman said Utah was offside. So faceoff's going to come back to neutral ice. We get yet another whistle, this time with 11:23 left in the second period. And really the big thing, with Allen having outshot Utah 29-12 here in the first half of this game, can the Grizzlies at the very least win some faceoffs, get some offensive zone time, and see if they can get some sort of rhythm offensively to get that first goal and really make a run for it here in the final half of play. Allen wins the draw. They're back in their own zone, skating from left to right. As the Americans deep in their own end, as they're going to spread the ice. As Allen's got one cutting to the left and one to the right. As Chris Mallory, the former Grizzly, he's got an A on his sweater. As he'll give it to Liam Finley. Finley scored a first period goal. He gets around a skater. Now he's at center ice. Finley skates in. He crosses the offensive line and dumps it in. As Nilsson boxing out Finley. Nilsson will skate ahead. As he'll throw it to his right. Now the Grizzlies get it back to Nilsson. He skates down the middle. Martin drops for right. He'll take a shot. That one goes wide. And now they throw it to Nilsson. Nilsson back out to center ice. As he'll skate towards his right. Now he's in his own zone again. Now Nilsson with a left wing pass to Cutler. He crosses center ice. Cutler skates along to the left circle. Take a shot. That one goes wide. He tried to go stick side on Parasini. Now Allen crosses center ice 2-on-3. Over to the right circle. They tried to center it out in front, and Nilsson picked it off. Pfizer gets blasted. Nilsson takes over the play. He'll nudge it out to center ice. And the pass goes wide, and it looks like no icing, though, as it glanced off a Grizzly. As we got 30 seconds left in the 4-on-4, Sossaman will feed it towards the right circle. Allen steps over the offensive line, as looks like McDonald and Leopard go after it in the right corner as the Grizzlies skate down the middle. Now Utah skates towards the right side. They enter the zone. They try to get it up top for Cutler. Puck somehow lifted high into the air, and now it goes to center ice. Allen gets it poked away. Utah re-enters. Now the Grizzlies will back it out to center ice again. Dakota Raby will skate towards his right. He crosses center ice. Now he feeds it to the left, and Allen picks it off. Gagnon and Walker out of the box. They both join the play. As Allen at center ice, they'll skate in. Americans towards the slot, take a shot, saved by Minor. That shot was taken by, well, I couldn't tell who it was that took that shot. 9:26 left in the second. Allen is up to 30 shots on goal here in the first half of the contest. They lead 2-0 on a first period goal from Liam Finley. Zach Pachiro scored 3:37 into the second period. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
9:26 left in the second period. Liam Finley scored 14:37 in. Jack Combs with the assist, and then 3:37 into the second. Zach Pachiro got his fourth of the year. Leopard and Hargrove with the assists. Grizzlies hockey all season long brought to you by Mountain Land Supply Company. At Mountain Land Supply Company, they are committed to making their customers' business better, progressive change, creating a remarkable experience, and enriching our community. That's Mountain Land Supply Company, a proud sponsor of Utah Grizzlies hockey. Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by Rio Tinto. At Rio Tinto, as pioneers in mining and metals, they produce materials essential for human progress. Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by Coca-Cola, where real magic is only a sip away, and by Powerade. Well, we would want to get a Powerade power play, but we haven't had one yet. Utah is 7 for 18 over their last 3 games on the power play. You can tell Chad Costello made it a point with his Allen Americans crew to stay out of the penalty box. The only penalty that Allen has committed was a matching roughing minor. Gagnon and Utah's Johnny Walker, 8:22 in. We skate 5-on-5. Allen wins the draw. Shot saved by Minor. He holds on as that shot was taken from the left side. And Allen's been very aggressive offensively. They're usually in the middle of the pack in terms of shots. They have taken 30.3 shots per game this season. They have already exceeded that mark here in the first 31 minutes of play, as Allen has taken 31 shots on Trent Minor. They average 30 per game, do the Americans, as the puck ends up on the right side after Allen won the faceoff, as it's in the Grizzlies zone, as the Americans skate towards the left side. Now left wing near the board. Shot saved by Minor. Rebound goes out to Colatarchi. He clears it out. That's going to be icing with 9:03 left in the second period. Regardless of what happens tonight, it's still a very successful road trip for the Grizzlies. Well, you almost thought about 5-3 kind of being a barometer going into the trip. You know, they split 2 games against Idaho a couple weekends ago. They won 2 out of 3 games against Kansas City, and you thought going into Allen, with as much offensive firepower and potential they have, you win 2 out of 3 games there, you'd be satisfied. However, having won the first 2 games of the set, you know, you can obviously get a sweep here, but Allen has played pretty well in the first half of this game tonight, leading 2-0. Johnny Walker will clear it out to center ice. As Utah won the drop, then he dumps it in, and no icing on the play as Allen chases after it behind their net. The Americans feed it over to the far side. Fitz leads Utah with 4 shots on goal. He throws it towards the middle. Allen picks it off as the Americans get it out to neutral ice, as Bryson Martin, actually Nilsson over there. Nilsson gets hit towards the center ice area. Now Allen will skate in. Right circle. And Allen centering pass. Shot saved by Minor. As it goes towards the left side. Back to Jordan Stone. He skates towards the near wall. He'll bounce it off the glass. Well, he bounced off the glass with some velocity on it. And that turns into an icing call. I don't know if Stone realized how it would hit the glass and then ricochet all the way down deep into the Allen zone the way it did. I think he thought it was just going to go out to center ice. It looks like the glass a little bit lively over in Allen as we get a whistle with 8:17 left in the second. During the second intermission, we'll give you some scores from around the world of sports. We know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there, so we appreciate you choosing the Grizzlies tonight. In the final game of the 8-game road trip, Utah will be home for 6 straight games, beginning on Thursday night against the Idaho Steelheads. Hargrove will take the draw for Allen against Zach Sekos. Sekos looks like he's got an A on his sweater along with Dylan Fitz. Connor McDonald is the captain. Grizzlies will toss it out to center ice. Bouncing puck is taken by the Americans in their own zone as they'll lift a pass across as Allen looks to spread the ice once again. And this seems to be a pre-planned thing, as we've seen this often tonight by Chad Costello. Costello, the Allen coach, orchestrating this thing from the bench. Mallory behind his net will feed it out to neutral ice. And now the Americans in their attack zone to the right side. Leopard gets it across as the Americans to the right side pitch it back to the near corner. Allen around the net. Jackson Leopard gets back checked by Nilsson. It goes back to the far corner. Looking for Nilsson, but Allen's able to keep it. Left circle now, it nudges back to Nilsson in the corner. He'll get it across to Stone behind the net. He'll feed it back towards the near corner. Strong couldn't clear it out. Now it goes back to Nilsson on the far side. Andrew lifts the puck high into the air as it bounces. Is gloved at center ice by Allen. Now Utah takes it. Cam Strong, 2-on-2. He'll skate towards the middle, drops it off, and righty shot, lefty shot. And Parasini makes the save. And after the whistle, Cam Strong gets pushed by Jackson Leopard. Well, that's got to be a penalty. Now a punch is thrown as Leopard throws a left on Strong. All Strong was doing was trying to get a rebound. And Jackson Leopard now yelling at the referee. He's yelling at Strong as well. Strong's wondering what he did to deserve a punch in the face. And now Leopard pushes Strong as he's got his jersey. And now Leopard lets go of Strong's jersey. We got a penalty, but it's not Leopard to the box. It's Zach Pachiro. Pachiro, number 18, gets 2 minutes as the Grizzlies dropped it off in the right circle and had a pretty good look. Looks like Leopard's going to the box as well. And it didn't look like Cam Strong did anything except for try to get a rebound, get close to the goaltender. And because of that, teams got to do what they got to do to protect their goaltender. That's understandable. But, that's where you see a lot of, these days when you don't see as much fighting as you used to, that's where you're going to see a lot more of your skirmishes. A higher percentage of those being out in front of the net. Well, I'm trying to get a rebound out in front, get one of those dirty, greasy goals. And, it's your right to be there in the crease, but it's also the right of Leopard and Pachiro to make sure that you get nowhere near their goaltender. And so because of that, you're going to constantly have that battle out in front. And because of that battle, you don't mind that. That's going to be where the play is going to get physical. And you like Cam Strong getting out in front of there. You like when Johnny Walker gets in front of there for the Grizzlies as well. He wasn't in that particular situation. It looks like two guys are in the box for Allen. Doesn't look like anybody's in the box for Utah, which means that could be a 5-on-3 situation for the Grizzlies for 2 minutes, and this could be a critical sequence in this game. It's Allen 2, Utah nothing. We're seeing some fans, which makes me wonder if Ryan Kanasowicz has used his one timeout to see if the Grizzlies can find a way to generate a goal on a good goaltender named Luke Parasini. And off the draw, it's won by Utah. It's a 5-on-3 power play. Cutler on the left side. Feathers it across. Now it's in the right point. Nilsson will get it to the right side. Now back up top for Nilsson. Nilsson gets to the far goal line. Now out in front for Cutler. He takes a shot, and he scores! Grizzlies out in front. Cutler hacking away. So was Sekos and Wright. And the Grizzlies get on the board. It's a 5-on-3 power play goal as Zach Sekos skates to the bench first. Cutler was in the area, so was Sekos. We talked about that real estate out in front. The Grizzlies won it in that situation, and it was really a couple guys that you don't normally see out there. Cutler or Sekos, one of those guys got the goal. It looked like after the Grizzlies talked it over, Sekos skated to the bench first, so it looks like it's Zach's 7th of the year. And because it was a 5-on-3 goal, as Cutler looks like Cutler might actually get it. Now, Sekos was over there. Sekos tried to feed it in front to Cutler. We'll find out in the ECHL box score who gets the goal. Grizzlies still on a 5-on-4 power play as Cutler skates to the left side. As he looks to center to Pfizer. Shot, that's blocked before it gets to Parasini. Allen couldn't clear it out. Nilsson the left side to Pfizer. Now back up top for Nilsson. Now to the right side for Sekos. Now to Nilsson. Nilsson to Pfizer. One-timer. That one goes wide. And it rolls along the far boards and goes out to neutral ice. 1:10 left in the Grizzlies power play as they got on the board about a minute ago. It's Utah in front of Trent Miner's net. They'll get it to the near side for Sekos deep in the Grizzlies zone. Now Sekos will skate north-south. He'll cross center ice. Now veer off to the right. Now back it out into his own zone. He'll chip it ahead to Nilsson. But we get a whistle as there's 52 seconds left in the power play. Well, I wonder if Utah, well, let's see, the arm is raised. Utah looked like they were in the middle of maybe a line change. I wonder if Utah got caught with too many men. Yeah, I think, or maybe it was, we'll see. It looks like Allen, the official's talking it over, and it looks like somebody's going to the box. Jackson Leopard skating towards the penalty box. He looks puzzled. High sticking's a call, and I think I see 4 minutes. Jackson Leopard's going to the box, high sticking. It looked like the official said 4 minutes. So Leopard's in the box. He joins Zach Pachiro. That's a 4-minute penalty for high sticking. Well, you talk about getting undisciplined, and you could see why. And I don't want to be critical, but this is why Allen is 2-4-1 this season. They had total control of this game, and then they take 2 penalties. Leopard gets a roughing minor, Pachiro an interference minor, 12:50 in. And now Jackson Leopard gets a double minor for high sticking, while the Grizzlies have a 5-on-4 power play for 50 more seconds. Now it's a 5-on-3 for 50 seconds, and looked like the puck's going to end up back in the Allen zone after the draw. And so they have let Utah back in this game with 3 separate penalties like this. Grizzlies scored on the 5-on-3. Cutler gets the goal, 13:07 in. It's his 3rd of the year. Sekos and Nilsson with the assist. That's Nilsson's 8th power play assist of the season. That leads the league. Off the draw. Oh, it looks like a penalty is going to be called. I can't believe this. It looks like off the draw, Mallory and Wright were battling, and Mallory went down, and Cameron Wright looks like he's going to get a penalty. Mallory did go down. I think Wright's kind of wondering because it looked like Mallory did go down a little bit easily. Now Wright's in the penalty box, and that does it for the 5-on-3 portion of the power play. It's still a power play for Utah, but it looks like it's a 4-on-3 power play with Wright in the penalty box. It's going to be a 4-on-3 power play for 46 seconds, and then Pachiro will come out of the box, and then we'll skate 4-on-4 for a little bit. But then after Wright comes out of the box, Utah will still have a power play again. There's going to be a quiz on all this during the second intermission. Utah wins the draw. It's 2-1 Allen, as Utah's still on a power play, but it's a 4-on-3 advantage. It's Nilsson. Skates in from the left side near the boards. Gets it to Pfizer. Taryn will throw it to Sekos, who picked up an assist on that Cutler goal a couple minutes ago. Sekos will throw it to the right side. Oh, Allen picked it off. Americans 2-on-2. Skate into the zone. Over to the left circle. Take a lefty shot. And that one goes wide as it rolls along the near wall. Taking it as Cutler. He'll drop it off for Nilsson. Nilsson on the left side. Throws it back up top for Sekos. Zach gets it across the left point for Pfizer. Pfizer skates to his right. Now he's at the right point. As Pfizer. 3 seconds left in the 4-on-3. They'll get it to Nilsson. Nilsson back to Pfizer. I tried to feed Cutler out in front. Pass goes wide. Now it's a 4-on-4 situation. Sekos throws it across to Nilsson. As Nilsson on the right side takes a shot that goes wide as it rolls along the near wall. Sekos keeps it in. As he's on the left side, he'll skate towards the left circle. Now to the goal line. Sekos around the net. As he's now on the right side, he tries to feather it out in front. It bounced off a Cutler. Parasini dives as Allen keeps the puck in play. Now they got the puck. As they'll throw it to the right side at center ice. It tapped off the sticks and no icing. As Pfizer runs it down. We got 40 seconds left in a 4-on-4. And then after that, the Grizzlies will resume with a 5-on-4 power play once Wright comes out of the penalty box. Right side, Crone skates in. As he'll methodically get to the circle. I tried to center it. It kicked off the skate of Martin. As Utah will tap it off the far glass, and it goes out to center ice. 20 seconds left in the 4-on-4, and then Cameron Wright will come out of the box for Utah. It's Allen 2, Utah 1. The Americans back behind their net. Allen in the specialty jersey as it's military night over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Allen crosses center ice, and they'll skate in. Americans over to the near corner. Get pushed by Raby. Fits over there, and another Grizzlies hacking away as Allen holds strong in the corner. Now out of the box is Cameron Wright. He skates towards the corner. It's 4-on-1 at Utah's corner. Utah takes it away. Grizz are on the power play for the next minute 40, looking to tie up the game as Raby gets it across to Wright. Wright will throw it around the net. Raby in the left corner. Hits it to Fitz. Fitz back to Raby. Glanced off his stick and rolls to an Allen skater. Americans will clear it out. 1:23 left in the Grizzlies power play. As Allen takes it away, they throw it towards the slot. Lefty shot, and that one goes wide. As they try to go glove side on Minor. Johnny Walker will feed it towards the middle. Now back to Walker at center ice. Right wing. He'll step over the blue line. Walker gets pushed back to center ice, and Nilsson gets it. As Nilsson will bounce it off the near wall. They try to get it back to Nilsson. It kicked off an Allen skater. Now Allen will skate to the right circle, take a shot. That goes wide. That was taken by Finley. 53 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. Utah at center ice. Gets the puck. Grizz. Feed it across to Sekos. But it bounced off the near boards. Utah to the corner as Walker. Left circle. Throws it up top for Pfizer. Pfizer just outside the left circle. Gets to Walker at the goal line. Johnny gets to the right side. Utah with a lefty shot that's blocked. And Allen clears it out. 25 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. Allen leads 2-1. 2:25 left in the second. Utah with a long-range pass. That doesn't connect, and it's going to be icing on Utah as the whistle blows with 2:22 left in the second. You kind of wonder, Allen was in total control of the game before they committed 2 penalties on one play, turning into a 5-on-3. Utah scores on that, and we've had special teams since then, the 2 penalties that were committed 12:50 into the second. Utah is 1 for 4 on the power play. Allen is 0 for 1. So we go over all the scoring during the second intermission. Utah wins the faceoff as Nilsson will throw a right wing pass. Grizzlies at neutral ice. They cross center. They'll throw it to the left side for Sekos, who runs it down in the corner. He rolls around the boards, the puck, and Allen gets it and clears it back to center. Nilsson has a kickoff a skate as Cutler will throw it back to Nilsson. We're back to 5-on-5 skating as Utah up ahead. Now to the right side, right with a shot. And it looked like the goal light went off. They keep playing. Well, it looked like Utah scored, but they keep playing as the referee didn't spot it. Now right side, the Americans all alone in the circle to take a shot. Kick save by Minor. Allen around the net, Jackson Leopard. As Leopard will throw it back up top. They're going to have to look at that play. As Massacott, right side shot, saved by Minor. Rebound, shot, and a score. As it bounced off the boards, and Dalton Skelly has scored. Or I don't know if that was Skelly, but the Americans score, and they've made it a 3-1 game. Skating to the bench, looks like it's Jack Combs. Combs scores as he was on the right side. Massacott took the shot. It bounced off the end wall, and Combs is just out in front to get the rebound off the boards and put it in as Minor kicked the skate out. But then it looked like before, it looked like Cameron Wright had scored. He was on the right side. The goal light looked like it started to go off. The referee didn't look like he was in any position to make the call. And then Allen comes back down the other end and scores themselves. You know, can they go back and look at the right play? And if they do, you know, who knows? It's kind of like what we saw in the preseason game in Utah. The game that was played at Vivint a couple months ago, the preseason game between the Ducks, you know, those teams, where, you know, a goal had scored, they didn't call it. I think it was the Kings that had scored, they didn't call it, and then Vegas comes down the other end and scores themselves. It looks like they are going to go to video replay because it looked like Cameron Wright might have scored to tie the game. The goal light went off, so the goal judge might have seen something. You know, maybe it hit the pipe and didn't go in. They're probably looking at it right now. There's 1:38 left in the second period. It's Allen 3 and Utah 1. And this is one where you got to go deep into the rule book. If you count that as a goal, then obviously play doesn't continue, and there's no way, you know, that Allen ends up scoring because the play stops. You have a face-off at center ice after a goal. So this is one that the off-ice officials love. They love these type of situations because they know exactly what's happening. But we saw it in a similar situation. It was a different type of play that the Kings would have scored on. I mean, this was pretty much a rocket from the right circle from right. They're looking it over right now, and I think they're going to have to take a good long look at this to make sure they get it right. 1:38 is left in the second period. Allen's goal scored by Jack Combs, Massacott, and Dalton Skelly with the assist. For a second, I thought that maybe Skelly had scored. Looks like Zach Pachiro. They put 2 minutes on the board for a penalty for Pachiro. And so it's possible he's going back to the box on the score bug we're seeing on Flow Sports. So there's a lot to unravel there. Looks like the officials are still looking it over. Because it could either be 3-1 Allen or it could be tied at 2. And looks like the officials come out of the box. I don't know if he's got a mic over in Allen to explain things. But Chiro's taking another penalty for Allen, it looks like, according to the score bug. They've got him in for 2 minutes. And really, it's been Allen penalties that got the Grizzlies back in this game. So we're waiting to see. You know, we're checking any sort of sign we can see. You know, whether the score bug on the screen turns to it from a 1 to a 2 for the Grizzlies, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But a very interesting final 6 minutes here of action that really started with the 2 penalties committed by Allen as they went after Cam Strong, who was out in front of the net trying to get a rebound. Before that play, which was 12:50 into the second period, Allen looked like they were in total control of the game. That gave the Grizzlies a 5-on-3 power play. Brandon Cutler scored 13:07 in, 17 seconds into the 5-on-3. Grizzlies had a 5-on-4, and then Wright committed the penalty 14:04 in, and neither team has scored since until Jack Combs 18:22 into the second period as we got 1:38 left in the second. before Combs scored, about 20 seconds before that, looked like Cameron Wright might have scored from the right side. The goal light went off, but they kept playing, and then Allen went down the other end and scored themselves. So there's a lot to unpack here. If nothing else changes, it's 3-1 Americans. As it is a good crowd over in Allen tonight, last of a 3-game series. Utah has won 4 in a row, looking to make it 5 in a row. The Grizzlies have actually won 7 straight against Allen, dating all the way back to the start of last season. Remember, Allen swept Utah in a 3-game set in the 2021 Kelly Cup playoffs in the first round. And Utah won 5 straight last season. They've won the first 2 games in the season series here tonight, here this year. So it looks like they're continuing to look it over. It's still 3-1 Allen. The score bug's got Pachiro in the box for 2 minutes, so the Grizzlies could get a power play. And we're just trying to unearth some details. We're hoping we can find a couple signs on Flow Sports that says one way or another if anything's going to change. Because if Wright did score, you got to go back and not give Allen a, well, it looks like we're back to live action. It's 3-1 Americans. Grizzlies are on the power play as Utah's in the offensive zone. Grizz get it up top for Sekos. He'll feed it to McDonald. Connor on the left side, skated towards the corner as he gets tripped up. No call on the plays. Wright gets it back to Pfizer. Pfizer with outside the left circle, takes a shot. Saved by Parasini. He holds on. We never did get a second look as we get a whistle with 1:10 left in the second. We never did get a second look at the right shot, so could have been a good call. Could have been a no goal. We really don't know. We only had the one look, and it kind of looked like it might have hit the back of the net and gone in, or it could have hit the pipe. We do know Pachiro's in the penalty box, and Utah's on the power play right now. It's 3-1 Allen as there's 1:10 left in the second period. Pachiro got a slashing minor, 18-22 in. So after the goal scored, Pachiro committed a penalty. As puck's over on the right side, Allen gets it, and they'll clear it out. 1 minute left in the second period. 1:20 left in the Grizzlies power play as Pachiro's in the box. 2 minutes for slashing as he's in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Grizzlies skate in. They throw it off the near boards. And now they get it to the corner. Does Sekos. Allen takes it away and clears it out. Minor to the left of his net throws an outlet pass out to center ice, ricocheting off the far boards. Allen gets it back as they'll throw it to the right circle. Utah picks it up. McDonald gets it taken away. Allen tried to nudge it towards the slot. Utah took it away from them. Grizz. 3-on-2 step over the offensive line as Wright skates towards the right corner. As he loses it, Allen gathers it. They'll skate towards their right and clear it out. As it cleared all the way towards the crease, and Trent Miner, who played it right in front of the goal line. As Sekos crosses center ice, and they'll dump it into the right corner as it hit off the boards. Allen back to the near side. They'll get it across to Durham. He'll backhand it out of the zone as it goes to Martin. He'll throw it across to Raby. Time runs out on the Grizzlies here in the second period as Allen leads 3-1. As it looks like upon further review, the Cameron Wright shot turned into a no goal. That's when it was 2-1. And then Allen came back the other way, and Jack Combs out in front of the net made it a 3-1 contest, scoring 18-22, and Massicott and Skelly with the assist. And so the Americans have a 2-goal lead after 40 minutes. 3-2 is the score. Allen has outshot Utah 33-16. Allen as a team averages 30.3 shots per game in their first 7 games. But tonight, they've already got 33 shots. They've doubled up the Grizzlies. Utah is 1 for 5 on the power play. Allen is 0 for 1. When we come back, we'll have second intermission coverage. The Siegfried and Jensen intermission report is coming up next. Once again, the score, Allen 3 and Utah 1. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey. Second intermission over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. And I got to say, that turned into more of an eventful second period than I thought it was. Allen leads 3-1. If you joined us late, the Americans had a 1-0 lead after one period. Liam Finley scored his second of the year. Jack Combs with the assist. It was a really nice move by Finley. And so the Americans outshot the Grizzlies 18-10 in the first period, and they led 1-0 after one. Allen extended the lead as Zach Pachiro with a wrap around the net. You know, he kind of skated around the net and just kind of snuck it in past the ankle of Trent Miner. Trent kicked his leg out, but Pachiro was able to get the puck past him. It's his fourth of the season. Leopard and Hargrove with the assists. But you think about a turning point in the game. You know, halfway through the contest, Allen was at about 30 shots. It was 2-0, but it felt like they were in total control of the game. And then there was a play out in front. Strong dropped it off for lefty. I think Sekos took the shot. And then Strong skated out to try to get a rebound. The whistle blew as Allen had made the save. And then two guys start going after Cam Strong. And they went after him pretty hard. It looked like Jackson Leopard in particular went hard on him. Jackson Leopard got a cross-checking minor. Zach Pachiro got an interference. So you talk about a turning point in the game. Allen's in full control. I don't want to be too critical of an opposing team, but they're in total control of a game. Then you get two guys committing a penalty on the same play. That gives Utah a 5-on-3 power play. 17 seconds into the 5-on-3, Cutler scores from out in front of the net. Sekos and Nilsson with the assists. And so it looked like that centering pass from Sekos. Sekos was on the far side at the goal line, centered it to Cutler, who was out in front of the net. That pass connected, and Brandon nudged it in. So all three of Cutler's goals this season, all 5 of his points have been on the power play. It was a 5-on-3 power play goal. And then with Cutler scoring, it turned into a 5-on-4 power play. Cam Wright got a hooking minor, 14:04 in. It didn't take much to get Chris Mallory to go down, but he got the call. And we had a 4-on-4 situation for a little bit, and then after that, the Grizzlies had a little bit more of a power play. They were able to establish some offensive zone time, and really when it was 2-1 Allen, you thought that the Grizzlies at any given moment could find a way to tie the game. But then we had the sequence with about 2 minutes left in the second period. Cam Wright got the puck. He skated towards the right circle. He was all alone, took a shot. And unfortunately, sometimes with these remote feeds, tracking shots can be pretty difficult. You know, especially, you know, I always joke that we need that Fox glowing puck to just figure out exactly where the puck is at times. But Wright took a shot, and it either hit the iron, but it didn't look like it hit the iron and then ricocheted all that far. So I don't know if it hit the iron or not. We do know that I did see the goal lights. I don't think it stayed on for very long, but the goal light did go off. And usually the goal judge, if he sees a goal, he's going to light it up. And he doesn't want to be wrong in those situations very often. I'm pretty sure the off-ice officials kind of make a wager with themselves. And I'm pretty sure that goal judge owes somebody dinner over lighting the lamp without a goal being scored. So it looked like maybe Utah had scored, but you know, we never did get another look at it. We didn't get a replay to say one way or another. Well, Allen comes back the other end. You know, they kind of skate around for a few seconds. They get some bodies out in the crease, and Jack Combs scores. Actually, I remember the play now. I'd forgotten it initially. Massicott was in the right side. He fired it off the end wall, and it bounced off the boards, and Combs was just at the near goal line. Combs had it, and he was able to trickle it past Trent Miner. And that's how Allen scored their third goal. They went back, and I imagine they were looking to see if Wright had scored. We saw a similar sequence in the NHL preseason game that was at Vivint Arena. Remember that sequence where it looked like the Kings had crossed the goal line with the puck and had scored, but they didn't count the goal. And then, you know, Vegas went down the other end and scored themselves. And so it may look like a similar situation, although assuming that they had the angles to look at the Cameron Wright play, you know, we can't say whether it was a good call or not. All we can go off of is that they said no goal. And so I guess we can assume that there was no goal on the play. And then Allen came back in. And so you're talking about turning points. The 2 penalties Allen committed there to give Utah 5-on-3, that's a turning point in Utah's favor. And then you had another turning point there with that sequence where, you know, Wright must have hit the post. And then Allen came back in and turned a 2-1 game into a 3-1 game, and that's where we stand after 40 minutes of play. So you're talking about an interesting final 8 minutes of the second frame, and Allen, having outshot Utah 33-16, looked like they were well in control of the game, and then those penalties just brought Utah back. They gave Utah some life. But then Allen scoring that goal late in the second period right now has turned out to be a big difference in the game. I think Trent Miner's looked pretty good. He's stopped 30 of 33, seen a lot of action. Luke Parasini of Allen has stopped 15 of 16. In terms of shots for Utah, Dylan Fitz has 4, Sekos, Penner, and Nielsen each have 2, and then a few other Grizzlies with 1 shot. For Allen, Colton Sossaman and Jackson Leopard lead the way with 5 shots. Marcel Godbout, Liam Finley, Hargrove, and Mallory each have 3 shots. We've had ourselves an interesting game, if nothing else. Utah's 1 for 5 on the power play, and Allen is 0 for 1. And right before, Allen committed those penalties in the second half of the second period, I was kind of thinking that, the game plan of Chad Costello, the Allen head coach, staying out of the penalty box, was looking pretty good. Allen was playing a pretty disciplined game, and they were in control the first 32 minutes. Once they committed those penalties and gave Utah power play, especially a 5-on-3 power play, it was only a matter of time when you get guys like Cutler and Sekos and Nielsen and Pfizer. You get all those guys out there on that power play unit. It's only a matter of time before Utah finds the back of the net, and they did in the 5-on-3. And, unfortunately, from the Grizzlies' perspective, weren't able to find that second goal to tie the game when the score was 2-1. Well, let's get to some other action from the league, some other scores. Games involving Mountain Division opponents. Kansas City leads Tulsa 4-0. That game in the second intermission. Like Kansas City's got a record of 4-2-1 this season. So the Grizzlies winning 2 out of 3 games there. Looks like it's better and better. Goals from 4 different Kansas City Mavericks: Tristan Mullen, Loren Yolette, Patrick LeBurge, and Nick Passajov. They have all lit the lamp for the Mavericks. Ellis got the start for Tulsa, but he has been pulled from the game. Dopp is now in net for Tulsa. Second intermission, Kansas City leads 4-0. Also, second intermission, Iowa leads Wichita 2-0. Former Grizzly Matthew Boucher is left off the stat sheet, as it looks like Peratino and Stollard have the Iowa goals. They lead 2-0 over Wichita, second intermission. Early second period, Rapid City leads Iowa 2-1. As it looks like Nikolaev has 2 goals for Rapid City. Jordan Kawaguchi has scored for Iowa, as all that action happening in the first period. Early second period, Rapid City leads Iowa 2-1. Other games that have gone final in the league. Kalamazoo defeats Toledo 3-1. Fort Wayne over Wheeling 2-1. In overtime, Greenville defeats the defending champion Florida Everblades 3-2. Jacksonville over the Lions 5-2. Worcester gets their 10th victory of the season. They win in a shootout 3-2 over Adirondack. Reading over Maine 4-1. And Newfoundland defeats Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals 4-1. Some college football scores. Let's get to some NHL scores, as a few more games look like they've gone final. Ottawa defeats Philadelphia 4-1. Edmonton defeats Florida 4-2. Bruins over the Sabres 3-1. Devils defeat the Coyotes 4-2. Late third period, tied at 4. Penguins and the Canadiens. Maple Leafs defeat the Canucks 3-2. Games in progress. Second intermission, Nashville leads the Rangers 2-1. First intermission, the Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche. They lead Carolina 2-0. Late third period, Columbus and the Islanders are tied at 3. And getting underway at the top of the hour, Jets and the Flames, Blues at the Vegas Golden Knights, Blackhawks at the Ducks, and at 8:30, the Red Wings, who are 7-4-3 on the season, they take on the 9-6-1 LA Kings. University of Utah gets underway in a few minutes. They take on Stanford. The Utes are big-time favorites against Stanford, as Stanford is 3-6 this season. Utah is 7-2. The Utes are 24-point favorites. That game is going to be played at Rice-Eccles Stadium beginning at 8 o'clock. And at 8:30, Pac-12 matchup between 3-6 Arizona and 8-1 UCLA, as UCLA is a 20-point favorite in that game. They are ranked 12th in the country. When we come back to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report, we'll talk with Guy Carenza and get his thoughts on really was a wild second period as Allen leads Utah 3-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Second intermission, Allen leads Utah 3-1. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out in the beautiful office next to the Grizzlies team store. We got Guy Carenza here as well. Grizzlies will return to Maverick Center for a 6-game homestand beginning on Thursday night for a 3-game series against Idaho. Nope, don't forget next Friday is going to be Pooch on the Pond. Hopefully we'll see a lot of dogs at the game. Guy, you might have to go down to those sections and interview some dogs during the game next Friday. That might be your assignment. And maybe we'll have Kiki go down there and have her interview a couple as well. And then obviously Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and then the Lions will be in for 3 games. But, you know, it looked like Allen was in total control of the game halfway through the second period. They had a 2-0 lead. And then there was a shot taken by Utah on the right side. Cam Strong was out in front of the net. And then somehow Allen had committed 2 separate penalties, giving Utah a 5-on-3 power play. They scored 17 seconds into that, with Cutler getting his 3rd of the year. Sekos and Nilsson with the assists. And, you know, then Utah had some more power play time. And then the crazy sequence there with about 2 minutes left. What do you make of all of it?
Oh, well, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to process.
First, let's get to, you know, Allen taking the 2 penalties. That was the golden ticket that got Utah back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a turning point. That was it. I mean, Allen, as you mentioned before, Tyson, had control of this game. I mean, they're out shooting Utah almost, double. They've doubled the shots that the Grizzlies have. I mean, they were controlling the game. They were playing their pace. They were slowing things down. I mean, we saw a ton of whistles to start the period. I mean, they were playing their game, and all of a sudden, just a complete lapse of judgment, whatever you want to call it, an error. They take these penalties, just undisciplined, whatever you want to say it is, and they let Utah back into the game. And good on the Grizzlies for scoring on that power play and making them pay. And then you've got Mallory kind of taking a bit of a softer fall in the circle, you know, maybe thinking that the referee wants to even the scales, you know.
I think they opened up a door, and I think a gust of wind got him. Yeah,
something like that. Must be pretty breezy in the arena there. But he goes down, and then the Grizzlies have to do a 5-on-3 or 4-on-3 power play there, and then it's just a jumble of things. I think that kind of sucked the momentum out of the power play momentum that the Grizzlies had in that moment. And then after that, you got Cameron Wright seemingly scoring and then not scoring, and then Allen comes down and they score, and that's just another game changer, turning point, another what if. You know, what if Cameron Wright did score? And unfortunately, we don't really know for sure because they didn't really show us that. But a lot of things, a lot of turning points, and I think that final 6 minutes of the second period could dictate the way that this game goes.
Having not seen a replay, we really can't say one way or another whether he actually scored or not. All we know is the goal light went off, but that obviously doesn't mean anything. So it was just like you mentioned, the 2 crazy turning points there. And I don't want to get too critical of an opposing team, but that might be why Allen is 2-4-1 this year, is the fact that they're in total control and then they take those penalties. I think it's kind of crazy to see how many shots the Allen Americans have had. Now, they've got 33 through 2 periods, but halfway through the second period, they're already at 31 shots. And so with all the power play time that Utah had, Allen only had a couple shots there in the last half of the second period. Obviously, one of those found the back of the net as Massicott fired it off the end wall, and it got towards the goal line. And then their experienced guy, Jack Combs, who's been professional for over a decade. We can go through an entire intermission on Jack Combs' resume, because he's been in so many different places, a lot of teams that don't even exist anymore. And he was able to be in the right place at the right time, like an experienced hockey player does. I think the first 5 minutes of this third period is going to be critical to see if the Grizzlies are going to, make a comeback attempt in this game.
Yeah, Tyson, and that's just it. The first 5 minutes are critical. If the Grizzlies can come out, get one back, make this a 3-2 game, you're back in it. And we know Allen has already made some errors on, going to the penalty box and taking penalties. You figure they're the second most penalized team in the league. They're probably bound to do it again at some point in the third period. Make them pay. Make them pay for their mistakes. Get on the board. Play your game. And here going to the third. And I'd like to see a little bit more intensity from the Grizzlies. Forwards like Johnny Walker, Dylan Fitz, Cameron Wright, get into it. Take it to them a little bit. And get them on their heels going into the third.
Yeah, Johnny Walker was able to do that there in the middle of the game. And I liked seeing Cam Strong in there because I think he's the guy that is one of those hard-charging players, and it was good to see him out in front of the net as well. And, it was kind of interesting. I talked about that real estate, and really, for Allen, yeah, you want to get in there, but you don't want to commit penalties while you're protecting your goaltender. And for the Grizzlies, if you want to score goals, especially against a good goaltender like Parasini, you're going to have to get out in front of there.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, and that's really the telling point of this game is the Allen Americans, they're not giving the Grizzlies much to work with at all. I mean, they're dominating possession. They're out shooting the Grizzlies. Like, if you're the Grizzlies, if you're going to score a goal, it's going to be one of those greasy goals in front of the net. Guys like Dylan Fitz, Johnny Walker, as I mentioned before, you're going to have to get down and dirty to get one of these goals and get yourself back into this game because the Americans aren't going to just give it to you.
Looks like both teams are on the ice, Guy. We'll talk to you during the postgame report.
All right, thank you, Tyson.
The Grizzlies are going to be on the power play the first 22 seconds of the third period as Allen leads 3-1. Utah's won 4 in a row, and a victory tonight would make it 5 in a row. It's already been a successful winning road trip for the Grizzlies. Regardless of what happens tonight, they're 5-2 through 7 games of the 8-game trip as they return home. I imagine they'll get home sometime tomorrow, and we'll be able to rest a little bit, watch some football, and get ready for the Idaho Steelheads and what should be a really fun 3-game series at Maverick Center starting on Thursday night. As Guy and I were talking about, can the Grizzlies find a way to generate one early on in the third period, first 3 or 4 minutes, and get the Grizzlies back in this game? And we'll see if there's any more plot twists. We saw 2 big-time plot twists there in the final half of the second period. Do we have an interesting plot twist that goes the Grizzlies' way in the third period? Watch out for Zach Sekos and Cameron Wright. Those 2 have been particularly active tonight. It was interesting to see Andrew Nilsson get back on the board with a power play assist in the second period. He leads the league with 8 power play assists this season. Off the draw, Allen wins the face-off, and they'll sail it all the way towards Trent Miner. Grizzlies have 13 seconds of a power play as Nilsson will get it to Sekos. As Zach crosses center ice, and he'll dump it into the right corner as it caroms off the boards. Allen clears it back out, and that will do it for the Grizzlies' power play. Miner behind his net will hand it off to Nilsson, who skates around the net. Out of the box is Pachiro, and we're skating 5-on-5 as Nilsson throws it to the left wing at center ice. Grizz dump it in. Parasini behind his net. As Mallory tried to clear it out, it hit off of Wright. Wright battling with Mallory in the corner. Now Raby takes it, and he'll throw it to the right side at the point. Shot goes wide as it rolls back to right along the far wing boards. Wright gets it taken away. Allen will tap off the boards, and we'll get it out to center ice. Allen skating from right to left as they'll get it towards Jackson Leopard. He collides with Kolatarchi. Utah takes the puck away as they'll get it out to center ice, but it looked like Martin had it nudged too far in front of him as the Americans get it back. As Allen at neutral ice feeds it over across to the left. Now the Americans skate in. Finley over to the right circle, stops in the corner. He'll throw it up top. Americans get it across towards Martin, towards Massacott. He'll take a shot, saved by Miner. And after the whistle, Pachiro pushes Johnny Walker. Walker is one of those guys who'll get out in front of there, but you wonder if you're Pachiro. You just took a couple penalties there. Maybe you want to steer clear. You don't want to get another one of those. As the whistle blows, 18:44 is left in the third. Allen leads 3-1. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I have not yet gotten a TikTok, but I'm considering it tomorrow. And after all, tomorrow's an off day. I'm on Twitter at Tyson on Sports. Grizzlies win the face-off. They're in their own zone in the corner. They'll get it ahead to Walker. Johnny at neutral ice feeds it to the left side. Now the Grizzlies skate towards the circle. Lefty shot saved by Parasini. That shot was taken by Cutler as the puck rolls towards the right side. Walker collides with an Allen skater. Cutler feeds it up top for Pouncey. He'll take a shot. Saved by Parasini. Rebound goes to the near wall as Massicott will clear it out. And it looks like icing's going to be called as Massicott sailed it down towards Trent Miner. And a whistle blows with 18-18 left in the third. For Utah, you like the offensive zone time, so this is the sequence in the game where winning faceoffs and establishing that offensive zone time could be critical, especially in a 5-on-5 situation against a good goaltender. You get things set up, you get somebody out in front of the net battling, and maybe that could be where Utah can generate a goal. Tyler Penner is one of those guys. He's outstanding in front of the net. He's taking the faceoff. Dylan Fitz and Dakota Raby out there as well. Draw one by the Americans, and Allen will clear it out to center ice, taken by McDonald, who drives it back in as it rolls along the wall, as Allen will feed it back to the far side. As the Americans still in their own zone, they'll nudge it across towards the near boards. Now they'll back it out towards their goal line as Massicott has the puck. He'll bounce it off the near wall looking for Skelly, and he gets him as Raby tried to cut in front to intercept it. Allen steps over the offensive line. Grizzlies nudge it back out to center as they take control. As Penner skates towards the right point, he'll take a shot that goes wide. It bounces off the end wall as Grissom battling with Penner. Ends up with Raby. High centers the Fitz shot. Oh, that one goes wide. That would have been a great move by Fitz out in front. But the shot ended up going wide out in front. Puck ends up back at center ice. Grizzlies have it. So they'll get it to Raby. It goes past his stick as he was looking for the long range to accept the long range pass. Grizzlies have it back. As Utah gets it back towards Sekos, but it stays at neutral ice. Now it goes back into Utah's zone as the Grizzlies will spread the ice. As Utah will feed it into the American zone as Allen back behind their net gets it. Turnover. Sekos gets towards the middle. Take a shot. That one goes wide. As Strong behind the net as he skates towards the far side. Strong being shadowed by Anthony Durham. Strong throws it up top to the left point. McDonald across to Martin. Martin feeds it to the left side. Now right with a shot. Saved by Parasini. Rebound goes to Allen, and they couldn't clear it out. Sekos on the right side near the boards. Throws it to the right. He'll take a one-timer that goes wide as the Americans will clear it out to center ice. It bounces at the center ice logo. Allen will dump it in. What a great shift by the Grizzlies who are looking to cut into the Allen lead. It's the Americans 3, the Grizzlies 1. As Taryn Pfizer will throw it back. His pass is wide to Pounce, who has to skate towards the far side to get it. Allen has a poke off a stick. It goes towards the goal line. And now McDonald feeds it back towards the far wall. Now to the right point. Allen will bounce it back to the right circle. As Allen will spread the ice in the offensive zone. Lefty shot. And Miner makes a pad save, and it goes out of play. 16:03 left in the third. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone as Allen wearing the specialty jerseys tonight. Middle of the jersey is kind of a camouflage look with normal lettering, but it looks like the numbers are kind of military style, I guess you'd say, as it is military night in a military-themed jersey. Red, white, and blue on the shoulders and on the bottom portion of the jersey. It's a really good look. Go to the Allen Americans social media accounts to find out what that jersey looks like if you're listening on YouTube and don't have Flow Sports to see what they look like firsthand. As Utah wins the face-off and they clear it out to center ice. Taken back by the Americans as Allen skates from right to left in the third period. Allen back in their own zone as they'll throw it out to center ice. As the Americans cross center. You get it back to Jack Combs, who scored a second period goal. He'll dump it in. As Nilsson gets it to Colatarchi. Joey will ricochet it off the far boards. It goes out to center ice, and Allen tried to poke it back in. It hits off of Colatarchi. He'll throw it into his own zone. Now back to Colatarchi, and he'll get it across. Now Utah on the near side as Nilsson will throw it to Pfizer. Pfizer will throw it towards center ice. Now to center ice, Utah gets it. Grizz to the left side, skates just outside the circle. Utah feeds it off the end wall as Allen gets to the right side. They nudge it ahead as the Americans cross center ice, and they dump it in. Chrome gets hit as Miner behind his net plays it. He'll throw it to McDonald. He'll wing an outlet pass to center ice to Pfizer. Now to Raby, who gets around a skater. He skates into the left circle. Raby drops it off for Fitz, who gets tripped up. No call as Allen at center ice gets it. Americans battling towards the Grizzlies bench. Utah takes it away. 14:45 left in the third. Allen leads 3-1. Pass ahead, looking for Fitz. It goes past him. Allen regathers it, and they'll throw it towards the left wing. Combs enters the zone. He'll skate slowly over toward the left circle. Combs over towards Gagnon, and he takes a shot that goes wide. Make that Lord Anthony Grissom, who took the shot. Now it's Pouncey. He'll throw it to center ice. It goes past, Fitz off the boards, taken back by Grissom. He's in his own zone as he'll throw an outlet that couldn't be handled. Now Fitz in the corner, gets it taken away by Leopard. He'll nudge it ahead as Grissom will skate along the near wall. He gets to neutral ice. He looked for Hargrove, but the pass was wide. Now Hargrove gets it back as he'll skate into his own zone as Allen spreads the ice. 6 minutes into the third period. Americans lead 3-1 in the last game of the three-game set. As Allen will make a full line change. Time is on their side, so obviously they're in no hurry. As Allen, kind of funny if they just stood there for a good 14 minutes and watched the time run out. A little stall tactic. Puck ends up back to center ice. Hey, what's to stop them if they wanted to do that? As the Grizzlies skate to the right side, Pouncey towards the boards, threw it back as they tried to wing it around the boards. It's cut off by Allen towards the end wall. Now the Grizzlies in the right point. Sekos feeds it across to the left for Nilsson. Now back to Sekos. Zach gets it taken away as Allen will skate towards the left side. Now they'll skate in with speed. Olenek backhand shot. Saved by Minor. Now the rebound goes out to Durham as he has McDonald dive in front of him. Durham throws to the left point for Mallory. Now they get it across Sosserman with a shot. Stick saved by Minor. And it deflects out of play off the protective netting. 13:07 left in the third period. Allen 3 and Utah 1. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
We're having fun on a Saturday night as Allen leads Utah 3-1. Neither team has scored so far in the third period. Shot count has been to Allen's favor all night. Americans are up to 37 shots. Utah's taken 19. Allen has outshot Utah 4-3 in the third period. There hasn't been a single penalty in the third, even though the Grizzlies were on the power play the first 22 seconds of the third period. Draw's going to be in the right circle of the Grizzlies zone. Utah wearing the white jerseys tonight with black numbers and professional green trim. Allen wearing a military-themed specialty jersey. Liam Finley will take the draw against Taryn Pfizer, and the draw won by Allen. They're in the right point as they'll throw it to the end wall as Crone skates around the net. He had 1 goal and 1 assist last night. Crone throws the Massicott. He'll feed it across. It rolls off the boards. Allen keeps it in. Now, Finley in the left corner. Throws up top for Massicott. He gets it across, and a righty shot from the right point, and that gets blocked. Martin will throw it to the right point. Allen keeps it in. Now across to Massicott, who's got good size. He takes a shot that's blocked. Walker crosses center ice 1-on-2. Now Walker gets to Cutler. Cutler across to Kolatarchi, but the pass went through his legs. Out to the right point. Allen pushes the puck back to center ice. Now they get it. Up ahead towards Nico Blackman. He gets it poked away. Now Pfizer will throw it out of the zone. At neutral ice, the Grizzlies dump it back in. Pfizer in the corner as he gets the puck, as Pfizer gets pushed along the wall. As there's about 12 minutes left in the third period, another Grizzly skates over to the corner, and that's Strong. He gets held up and gets the puck taken away from him. Now Allen touches it up, and a whistle blows, and Johnny Walker was down. Looked like somebody hit Johnny Walker at center ice, and somebody is very upset at Johnny Walker. And is that Nico Blackman? Blackman is yelling and pointing at Walker. Blackman, who went after Walker quite a bit on Wednesday nights. He's going to go to the penalty box as Blackman. So the Worm does his thing once again. Johnny Walker, once again, getting under the skin of Nico Blackman. Blackman's in the box. We'll see if Walker goes in for Utah. That's the second time tonight that Johnny Walker has drawn a penalty. He actually took a penalty himself in the second period on matching roughing minors. 12:02 left in the third period. Blackman looked like he had dropped the gloves, so I don't know if there was a fight off the screen that we didn't see. It must have been a real quick one. Blackman and Walker mixing it up. Linesman stepped in before we could really see what happened. McDonald over there, the Grizzlies captain. Jack Combs, the acting captain for Allen. Spencer Asachuk, the Allen captain, is out due to an injury. He's been with the Americans for close to a decade now. So we'll see if Utah gets a power play, if it's going to be matching penalties with Blackman and Walker. They haven't shown Walker in the penalty box, so it's hard to say if Johnny did anything. But it would be big if the Grizzlies could get a power play. They're 1 for 5 on the power play, and with Allen up by 2, looks like 4 minutes have been put on the board for Nico Blackman. Blackman gets 2 for roughing, according to the ECHL app, but they've got 4 minutes on the board for Blackman on the score bug. So it's possible that the Grizzlies get a 4-minute power play. So Blackman going after Johnny Walker again. And it actually looks like it's a double minor for roughing for Blackman. And it looks like that's the only penalty. So the Grizzlies, you talk about a plot twist. This could be a big one if Utah is able to find a way to capitalize on the power play. They're 1 for 5 tonight on the power play, which means over the last 3+ games, with the fourth game being tonight, Utah is 8 for 25 on the power play. So after a really slow start the first 6 games of the season, the Grizzlies really picked it up on the man advantage. And it looks like they're going to get a 4-minute power play and a double minor for roughing by Nico Blackman, 7:58 in. I wonder if Utah is going to use its timeout. Looks like the referee is talking with Ryan Kanaswich. We're able to see that. I think that's the first time all series we've seen Ryan Kanaswich on the Grizzlies bench. I wonder, because you almost wonder if Utah, whether they use their timeout on the 5-on-3 in the second period or maybe now. With this kind of being a sequence with the Grizzlies being strong on the power play as of late, could this be the time where Utah finds a way to climb back into this game? Hey, we'll see. It's a good opportunity for Utah as Blackman is in the box for 4 minutes, double minor for roughing. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. Who's it going to be? Sekos and Pfizer each tied for the club lead with 6 goals. As the draw is going to be in the Grizzly zone. Allen wins the faceoff. Leopard gets blasted by Pfizer as he skated into the Allen offensive zone. Now Pfizer has it behind his net. He'll give it to Nilsson. Double minor for roughing has Utah on the power play for 4 minutes. Nilsson throws it to center ice. Now the Grizzlies skate in from the left as Sekos feeds it across for Pfizer. Pfizer to the left point. Sekos has it as he skates to the left circle. Now centers it to right with a shot, and either one looked like it was a near miss as the Americans from the right side tried to clear it out. Sekos kept it in. He's got great hands. He throws it to the near side for Wright, who skates around the net. He'll throw it up top for Nilsson, across to Pfizer. Pfizer up top for Nilsson, who's now in the high slot. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Allen, and they clear it out. Boy, good look by Nilsson, but it stays 3-1 Allen. 3 minutes left in the power play. Utah makes a line change. Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, throws to Raby. Now back to McDonald. Connor skates down the middle. He crosses center ice. Now he'll dump it in. Connor chases after it with good speed as he collides with Allen. Puck ends up in the near corner. Americans will throw a lefty pass that goes all the way out towards Trent Miner. Miner collects it at his goal line on the far side. He'll give it to Bryson Martin. 2:30 left in the Allen power play, on the Grizzlies power play. Double minor for roughing as Utah skates in. But they're offside as Bryson Martin kind of hesitated a little bit as he got to the blue line, and that messed up the timing just a little bit as Utah's called for offside. 2:28 left in the Grizzlies power play. 10:29 left in the third period. It's Allen 3 and Utah 1. Draw's going to be at neutral ice, and I wonder if Ryan Kanaswich is going to bring back that line with Sekos and Pfizer again. with Andrew Nilsson. They got a little bit of a breather there as the draw won by Utah. And it looks like those guys are on the ice as Pfizer will pitch it ahead. Allen picks it off at center ice and dumps it back into the Grizzlies zone. As Nilsson has the puck, he's got 8 power play assists this season. He'll throw it to Wright, who crosses center ice. Wright gains the line on the right side. He'll spin it around. Utah along the boards. Allen cuts it off in the far corner. They couldn't clear it out as they didn't have time and space to get anything off. Now left point. Grizzlies get it across to Pfizer. He'll take a shot. Save. Rebound goes to Allen as the Americans will bounce it off the far glass. Taken by Utah. Keeps it in the left point. Sekos skates towards the left circle. Centers it to Pfizer. Takes a shot and it gets blocked. Now Cutler swung and missed on a shot, and Allen clears it out as it just kind of trickled past Cutler's stick, and Allen was able to clear it. Now the Grizzlies re-enter. Right to the right side. Toe drag. Shot. Saved by Allen. Rebound goes to the Americans and ends up back with the goaltender, and Parasini covers up as it glanced off of Hargrove and back to Parasini. 1:27 left in the power play. It's Cameron Wright checking his face. I wonder if he got hit with a high stick. Did Allen get called for it? It doesn't look like it. Leopard put 2 palms in the air, but it doesn't look like he's going to skate towards the penalty box, unless he is. Maybe he's skating towards the left circle. We're going to skate 5-on-4 as draw's going to be in the American zone. 9:29 left in the third. Grizzlies made a line change. Fitz is in there. He's got Walker to his right. McDonald is out there as well as Dakota Raby. Allen wins the draw, and they clear it out. Bryce and Martin out there along with McDonald, so 2 defensemen on this power play shift as Martin will skate down the middle. He'll nudge it over to his left. Grizzlies cross center. Raby steps over the line with speed. He gets to Fitz. Fitz along the far wall as he'll skate towards the corner. Fitz now in the corner at the goal line as Fitz throws it up top for McDonald. Connor gets to Martin. Back to McDonald. Connor with a shot. Save. Rebound. Shot and a score! Johnny Walker gets it as he gets his 4th of the year as he got a rebound from the left side, and the Grizzlies have cut into the lead. It's a 3-2 game. Well, McDonald took the shot from the right side, kind of bounced off the body, and then Walker is on the left side to put it away. So that's Johnny's 4th of the year, assuming it is him. There's a couple other Grizzlies in the area. 8:57 left in the third. Blackman's out of the penalty box. It's Allen 3 and Utah 2. So the shot was taken by McDonald, and he was from the right side. Fitz was out in front of the net. It kicked off at Parasini. Walker to the left side, put the rebound away, and got it past Parasini, glove side. And so this one's not over yet. We're going to skate 5-on-5, but it's the Americans 3 and the Grizzlies 2. Both of Utah's goals have come on the power play. Allen wins the draw. They skate from right to left in the third period. Americans at neutral ice will tap it off the stick of Leopard. Grizzlies have it. Walker will dump it to the left corner. Grizzlies deep in their attack zone, but Allen will throw it back towards center ice. Now Utah on their own end has it as they backpedal into their own zones. They want to spread the ice and enter the attack zone with some momentum. Utah rolls along the near wall. Allen centers it. Utah takes it away. Grizz cross center ice and dump it in. Fitz chases after it. Parasini behind his net will feed it over to the far side. Allen will chip a left wing pass out to center ice, and Jack Combs will dump it in. Grizzlies behind their net, battling. McDonald takes the puck and he'll throw it to Penner. Penner skates along the far side, crosses center ice, and chips it in. As it rolls along the wall, Fitz in the corner gets it. Fitz side tried to center it, but it goes past Penner and onto the left point. As Grizzlies try to find it back to Penner, and Allen deflects it all the way out towards Trent Miner. And deflected it all the way to where an icing was called. 7:49 left in the third. Allen leads 3-2, but the Grizzlies getting that power play, scoring late in the man advantage, has built them a little bit of momentum. It looks like we got ourselves a fantastic type of finish. It's a one-goal game. Utah so far this season has done a good job in one-goal contests. They're 4-1 in those situations. Right now it's a one-goal game, but Allen is the one with the lead right now, 3-2. Offensive zone face-off by the Grizzlies, but it's won by Allen as the Americans will chip it out to center ice. Grizzlies regather as Sekos throws to Nilsson, and he'll get it to McDonald as he feeds it across to Sekos. Grizzlies really moving the puck around well tonight As Sekos back behind his net. Now he just skates down the middle, crosses center ice. Sekos enters the attack zone, but the Grizzlies are offside as the play stops with 7:25 left in the third. There's a timeout. We'll take one as well. As the Grizzlies get back on the board, Johnny Walker gets his 4th of the year on the power play with Connor McDonald and Bryson Martin getting the assist. That's Martin's first point of the season. We're back in 30 seconds. It's the Americans up by 1. 7:25 left in the third period. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Rio Tinto.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
It's Allen 3, Utah 2. Johnny Walker scored 11:03 into the third period. Connor McDonald and Bryson Martin with the assists. Utah is 2 for 7 on the power play. They've also played a pretty disciplined game, have the Grizz, as Allen is 0 for 1 on their power play. So the Grizz are doing a good job staying out of the penalty box. And really the only thing that's kept Utah in the game is Allen taking some penalties of their own. Nico Blackman got a double minor for roughing. On the second half of that double minor is when Walker scored. Some other action involving Mountain Division opponents. Iowa leads Wichita 2-1. That game, late third period. Second intermission, Idaho and Rapid City are tied at 2 as they're back to live action. Neutral zone draw won by Utah as Kolatarchi dumps it in. He gets blasted at center ice as Chris Mallory gathers it. As Mallory skates north-south as he's still in his own zone, skating down the middle. Now he'll veer off to the left as he crosses center ice, and he'll throw it in. Miner behind his net plays it. He does a great job playing the puck behind the net. As it goes back towards Hargrove, he tries to feed it across. The puck stayed to the right side as Utah will get it out to center ice. Grizz have it near the bench area. As Strong gets hit pretty good as Allen's setting a physical tone here tonight. Americans get it to the near side from Mallory. Left wing crosses center ice, and he'll dump it in, but not all the way to the corners. It was picked off in the right circle as Utah will nudge it ahead and all the way deep into the Allen zone. And 6:35 is left in the third. Looks like no icing on the play as the Americans back behind their net. Penner in front of the net trying to dictate some action as the Americans skate around Penner. And now they feed it out to center ice. Right wing. Allen steps over the blue line. So they'll throw it towards the left corner. Utah gets pinned over there. Raby in the area. Now Utah will gather it as they'll throw it ahead. Fitz will drop it off towards the near wall for Raby. Raby couldn't handle it. Allen backpedals deep into their own zone. Now they'll start the attack again, but the pass is incomplete. And it goes all the way down for an icing call. 6:02 is left in the third. Faceoff comes back to the Allen zone as the Grizzlies try to claw their way back in to tie this game. Brandon Cutler scored in the second period. It's fun to see Johnny Walker's now got 4 goals in his last 4 games. And really, he was the one that drew that penalty as Nico Blackman got the double minor for roughing, and the guy he roughed was Johnny Walker. Draws on the right side, so Walker making his impact felt on this road trip. As the Grizzlies win the draw, they'll throw it up top for Nilsson. He'll take a shot, deflected off a stick onto Parasini, who makes the save. As Allen will clear it out to center. Grizzlies will get it back in, but Allen throws it back to center ice. Now Utah skates back into their own zone. Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, kicks it off a skate and ricochets over to the near corner. Deep in the Grizzlies zone, McDonald will backhand it out to center ice. As it goes to center, Walker runs it down. He'll bounce it off an Allen skate. Grizzlies get it to Pfizer, now to Cutler. Cutler back over around the boards as he'll chip it to the near side. Allen throws it to center ice, and Hank Chrome will dump it in. 5:15 left in the third. Utah back behind their net, looking to find a way to tie up this game. They skate from left to right here in the third period as the Grizz skate down the middle, and now they'll feed it out into Allen territory. They dump it in. Cam Strong racing after it. Parasini behind his net, throws to the right side. Now back to Strong. He skates in looking for the front door. Shot saved by Parasini. Now the Americans cross center ice. right wing. They center it over to Hargrove. He skates towards the right circle, take a lefty shot. All that goes wide. And now the Grizzlies come back the other way. Utah gets to right side, steps over the line as he tries to chip it out in front. He tried to feather it back across, and pass didn't connect. Allen ices the puck. Does it get to the goal line? Grizzlies run it down, no icing. 4:30 left in the third. Still 3-2 Allen. Grizzlies skate along the near side. Dakota Raby gets taken away. Combs skates in. He'll feed it across to Hank Krohn. Krohn on the right gets to the corner. Goes back, turnover, right circle, shot. That gets blocked. Grizzlies cross center ice still, and Fitz dumps it in. Hits off the backboard. Penner back to Fitz behind the net. He'll get to the left side. Grizzlies in the point. Take a shot, and that one gets blocked. It rolls along towards the near wall. Penner towards Raby. He avoids a check. He skates towards the left circle. He looks to feather it to Penner as he was falling down. Penner with a shot that goes wide. 3:45 and counting left in the third. Allen crosses center ice. Combs will get it to the left for Finley. Finley's got a goal tonight. Centers it, but he goes back towards the circle. Now Finley in the left point. Feeds it across Sosserman with a shot saved by Miner. Rebound goes out to the right side. Fitz gets it. 3-on-3. Fitz crosses center ice, and he'll dump it in. As it goes to the right corner, Cutler battling. Allen takes it with Hargrove. We haven't had a whistle for quite some time, so he can get some water. As Hargrove battling with Pfizer. As Allen will dump it in. And it looks like it's going to be icing on the Americans. 3:08 left in the third period. It's the Americans 3 and the Grizzlies 2 as Utah trying to find a way to tie up the game. Utah's had their opportunities, especially with the score 3-2. Utah has outshot Allen 11-6 in the third period. Allen for the game has outshot Utah 39-27. Draw on the right circle is won by Utah. Pfizer and Cutler, the two Victoria Royals, battling with two Americans. Less than 3 minutes left in the third. Secco's Walker over there as well. Allen comes out of the pile with the puck. They'll skate out to center ice. They'll cross center and backhand it in. As the Americans over to the right side. Look to center it, but nobody was home as Walker gets it. He'll get it to center ice. Hard pass connects to Cutler. Brandon feeds it across to Walker. Left side will take a shot. Glove saved by Parasini. And after the whistle, looks like it looks like Jackson Leopard. He just pushes Johnny Walker a couple times. And it looks like there's another happy customer going up against Johnny Walker. Walker talked to the linesman like, what do you want me to do? I'm not doing anything. So Leopard once again getting after Walker. And the Grizzlies had the puck on the left side. I thought it was Walker that took the shot. There's 2:35 left in the third. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. As the penalty box door is open, is anybody going in? As Allen had a pretty good look there, and they're showing the Allen goals. There's 2:35 left in the third period. Allen leads 3-2. Been a lot of shots in this game. Most shots that we've seen probably in a Grizzlies game all year. Seems like we've seen about 30 shots per side most games. Tonight, Allen has taken 39 shots, Utah 28. Both teams are at their bench area. Wonder if Ryan Kanaswich has used this timeout, or maybe they're looking at something on video replay. Kind of interesting at this point in the game to have a stoppage. It doesn't look like it's a media timeout. I think we've already taken all the media timeouts that we have. Grizzlies return home on Thursday night for the first of a 6-game homestand and first of a 3-game series against the Idaho Steelheads. Pre-game show starts at 6:40. Face-off about 7:10. Draw is going to be in the Allen zone. Cutler will take the draw. Cameron Wright out there to his right. Draw won by Utah. Left point, shot. That gets blocked. Puck ends up with Allen. They tried to clear it out. Secos kept it in. Or did he? As everybody stopped skating, looks like offside on the Grizzlies. As Allen tried to clear it out and looks like they were successful in it. Sekos tried to bring the puck back in, but he is called for offside. 2:27 left in the third. Utah trying to find a way to tie this game. Luke Parasini's done a good job in net for Allen tonight. Cutler will take the face-off. Nielsen to his left and right to his right. Draw one by Allen as Chris Mallory will feed it to the far side. Now Allen gets it to center ice. Grizzlies dump it back in as Parasini behind his net. As the Americans will throw it along the near boards. Combs will get it to center ice. The Americans will skate to the right circle. They'll take a righty shot. Stick save by Minor as it goes towards the near boards on a rebound. Grizzlies get it out to center ice. And we'll keep an eye if it's even possible on Trent Minor to see if he comes out for an extra skater. Grizzlies throw a right wing pass. It goes off the boards. Cameron Wright trying to extend his stick for it. As the puck ends up around Allen's net. Mallory in the corner. Throws it ahead. Now Allen has a 2-on-1. They'll skate to the right side. Minor's still in there. Allen centering pass connects. Oh, shot didn't, though, as they fanned on it. Americans along the near side. Pachiro in the area. He's got the puck as he's in the left point. Time is on Allen's side. 1:27 and counting left in the third. Allen's up 3-2 as McDonald gets hit. He'll throw up from one corner to the other. Now it goes back to McDonald. 1:18 left in the third. It's Connor now in front of Trent Minor. Minor is still in the game as McDonald still in his own zone will feed it across. Minor looking to his bench to see if he comes off as he'll get it to Nilsson. Andrew across to Connor. He'll skate to neutralize. He'll feed a rink-wide pass to the left. Grizzlies tried to dump it in, but couldn't quite get all the way. Now Allen out at center ice. Minor's still in there as the Americans chip it to the left corner. 50 seconds left. Raby around the net, but it's Allen. Now Raby takes it back as they'll cross center ice. Raby to the right side gets cut off by Massicott and gets divorced in the puck. Allen fires towards the empty net, and they score. Americans score on the empty net as Trent Minor had left for an extra skater, and this baby's in the refrigerator as Hank Crone scores an empty net goal with 41 seconds left in regulation. It's the Americans 4 and the Grizzlies 2. And the interesting thing about that, I don't think Minor had been off the ice for more than a few seconds. As it looked like Minor had skated off, then the Americans were able to get the puck. And Minor, just as he was entering the bench, is when Allen scored on the empty net. So it looks like it's going to be a victory for the Americans. It'll be their third win of the year. Grizzlies' 4-game winning streak will come to an end as the Grizzlies win the draw. It's 4-2. As Keaton Jamison dumps it in from center ice. Parasini behind his net. He'll get his second one of the season. Fitz right wing shot goes wide. 27 seconds left. Grizzlies look to center it. Allen picks it off, and they'll throw it to center ice. As Minor is in net now. Allen skates in. Backhand shot. Saved by Minor. Trent holds on as we get a whistle with 18 seconds left in the third. Bryson Martin with a push of an Allen skater after the whistle. And that was Anthony Durham, who's a big guy at about 6'4" and 200 pounds. So the Grizzlies look like they're going to end the road trip with a 5-3 record. Still a pretty successful trip. They split 2 games against Idaho, won 2 out of 3 games last weekend against Kansas City, and it looks like they're going to win 2 out of 3 games in Allen, Texas. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. As Allen wins the faceoff, they take a shot and it hits the side of the net. Now left wing shot. Minor makes the save, holds on with 7.6 seconds left. It was a 4-2 final score last night, with Utah getting an empty netter with a minute left in regulation. Tonight, similar score, actually the same score, 4-2, and this time it was Allen that got the empty net goal after leading 3-2 for most of the third period. Jordan Stone's out on the ice. It's the third of 12 meetings this season between these clubs. Both teams will play 6 games against the other in the other team's arena. As the Grizzlies will host the Americans February 1st, 3rd, and 4th, and then they'll host Allen again February 22nd, 24th, and 25th. As we got a fight Over in the near corner, we get a fight, and I think it might be Jordan Stone. The linesman stepped in pretty quickly, not letting him fight. As now Tyler Penner pushes Anthony Durham. Durham with his glove punches Penner twice. Boy, play started to get physical, in this game, and you knew at some point you were going to see some fisticuffs as Durham and Penner continue to exchange words. Jordan Stone looks like he's going to head to the locker room. Looked like Stone and Dalton Skelly were getting after it right after the whistle. Stone's going to walk off the ice. And then it looked like Durham and Penner, neither guy dropped the gloves. Olenek will skate to the locker room. Colton Olenek, he's not very big, 5'7", 165 pounds. So it looked like Olenek and Stone fought. Didn't look like much of a fight, as it looked like both linesmen stepped in pretty quickly. And quite frankly, the camera was looking somewhere else when that play was going on. So 5.1 seconds left in the third. We mentioned that Allen will be at Maverick Center February 1st, 3rd, and 4th for a 3-game set. And then they'll be back at Maverick Center February 22nd, 24th, and 26th. Utah will be back at the Allen, the place formerly known as the Allen Event Center, March 16th, 17th, and 19th. So third game out of 12. Utah, after tonight, will be 2-1 against the Americans. Allen's 7-game losing streak against Utah comes to an end. As off the draw, we're skating 4-on-4, and we get somebody jumping. Oh, somebody jumped Dylan Fitz right off the face-off. And that's Nico Blackman. Blackman jumping Fitz. The linesmen step in. Now Durham wants to push Keaton Jamison. As off the draw, it looked like Nico Blackman jumped Dylan Fitz. And so Blackman, who was getting after it with Johnny Walker for most of the series, Blackman looks like he's going to go to the locker room. What do they call it? Old-time hockey. Looks like we're having some old-time hockey here in the final 7 seconds of play, as the outcome really not in doubt. Be nice if we got to see a replay. Kind of looked like Blackman just went after Dylan Fitz right off the face-off. Fitz skates towards the bench. He's holding his face, checking to see if there's any blood. I guess it's just the sort of thing where fans are going to start getting their money's worth. Looked like on a couple of occasions Durham wanted to get after somebody, but he's got pretty good size, so nobody went after him. Colatarchi and Durham talking things over. I guess all this would do if Utah got a late power play is it would just hurt their power play percentage. As the outcome not in doubt. And they show the replay, but by the time they get to the replay, Fitz was already on the ice, and Blackman was being hogtied to the ground by 2 linesmen. So what happened before that? What brought Fitz to the ice? What was it that Blackman did? Who really knows? I guess you had to be there. So the draw is going to be in the Allen zone. We got 3.5 seconds left. Americans lead 4-2. As Jordan Stone got after it with Olenek. Olenek got a roughing minor, then Stone got something as well. Off the draw, 2 seconds left. Puck kind of stays in the face-off circle, and that will do it. Somebody throws a punch to Johnny Walker. Gagnon with a sucker punch on Walker. Walker goes down as Gagnon with his glove threw a right to Walker. And after the whistle, Walker gets back to his feet. Now Jamison holds an Allen skater. Gagnon just threw a sucker punch at Walker. As the linesman separating Gagnon and Walker, Gagnon didn't drop his glove or anything. He just threw a right to Walker right as the buzzer sounded. The linesman's pointing to the locker room for Walker. Gagnon looked like Gagnon threw a punch right at Walker. Walker didn't get a chance to retaliate, to get back at Gagnon. These teams won't see each other till February. Gagnon walks to the locker room. We had 3 separate incidents there in the final 7 seconds of play. And I'd like to see that over again. I'd like to give Gagnon the benefit of the doubt. It just kind of looked like he threw a right at Walker, right at the buzzer. But nevertheless, Allen wins 4-3, as kind of had to go through some old-time hockey, I guess, at the very end. As the Americans, both teams scored one goal in the third period. We'll go over all the scoring during the post-game report. We'll talk with Guy Carenza as play started to get chippy towards the end, but the Americans come away with a 4-2 victory as Utah completes the road trip with a 5-3 record as they won 2 out of 3 games against Allen. Last week, they won 2 out of 3 games against Kansas City, and they split 2 games to start the road trip against the Idaho Steelheads. Post-game show coming up next. Once again, the final score from Credit Union of Texas Event Center, the Allen Americans 4 and the Utah Grizzlies 2. You're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. The Allen Americans defeat the Utah Grizzlies 4-2 as Utah's 4-game winning streak comes to an end. Allen gets the victory. The record goes to 3-4-1. Utah falls to 6-3. Grizz will be home for 6 straight games beginning on Thursday night against the Idaho Steelheads. Let's get to the stats and scoring of this game. Allen got on the board first as Liam Finley scored his second of the year as he scored on a really nice move in front of the net on Trent Miner. Jack Combs with the assist. Allen outshot Utah 18-10 in the first period, and they led 1-0 after 1. Zach Pachiro made it a 2-0 game as he scored his 4th of the year. Leopard and Hargrove with the assists. And, Allen was well in control of the game. They had about 30 or 31 shots halfway through, and then they let Utah back in. And you think about the discipline of Allen. Utah had 8 power plays. I know that 8th power play was an abbreviated one, but Allen only had 1 power play. The Grizzlies played a disciplined game, but really you think about a turning point as Jackson Leopard and Zach Pachiro each got penalties. Leopard with a cross-checking minor, 12:50 in, and Pachiro with an interference minor, 12:50 in. And that gave Utah a 5-on-3 power play. 17 seconds into the 5-on-3, Cutler scored on a centering pass out in front from Zach Sekos. Cutler got his 3rd of the year. All 3 of his goals this season have been on the power play. Sekos with the assist. That is his 3rd assist of the season. And Andrew Nilsson picked up his team leading 12th assist of the year. And Nilsson has 8 power play assists this season. That got Utah on the board. The Grizzlies had some more power play time after that, but couldn't find the back of the net. And then with about 2 minutes left in the second period, Cameron Wright skated to the right side. And it looked like for a second that he might have scored as the goal light went off. And he must have hit the post and, just didn't cross the goal line. And so that didn't count. Allen came back down the other way, settled into the offensive zone. Massacott was on the right side and fired it off the end wall. Combs was at the goal line on the near side and just, was able to tap it in past Trent Miner, and that made it a 3-1 Allen lead. It was 3-1 after 2 periods. Then the Grizzlies got another power play in the 3rd period. Nico Blackman got a double minor for roughing, 7:58 into the 3rd. And then Johnny Walker scored on a rebound from the left side. Walker got his 4th of the year. McDonald and Bryson Martin picked up the assists. And then, the Grizzlies battled hard to try to tie the game. But it was kind of an interesting scenario where there was about 50 seconds left. Miner had skated off the ice, and just about the time he got to the bench, Hank Chrome got the puck, and he threw it towards the empty net and scored. And just about the time the puck crossed the goal line was when Miner was at the boards near Utah's bench coming off. So Allen scored to make it 4-2. And then the last 7 seconds, there were a few penalties. There's a face-off with about 6 seconds left. Jordan Stone and I want to call him Kelly Olynyk because he plays for the Jazz. Colton Olynyk got matching roughing minors, and with less than 2 minutes left, they both went to the locker room. And then it looked like Nico Blackman just jumped Dylan Fitz. Interestingly enough, we didn't see how the play started. I'd like to give Nico Blackman the benefit of the doubt. because we didn't get to see the start of the play. All we knew is that Blackman was on top, Fitz was on the ground, and both linesmen, had Nico Blackman trying to separate him from Fitz. Blackman got a game misconduct for the aggressor, and he also got 5 for fighting. Wasn't Allen the team that was up by 2 goals in this situation? Like, wouldn't you be just happy to just go back to the locker room with a win? And then right after the game, we finally had a face-off in the Allen zone. Play ended, and Ryan Gagnon just swung a right and hit Johnny Walker. Gagnon got 2 for roughing. Walker got 2 for roughing. And then both guys got 10-minute misconduct continuing altercation penalties. What's it really matter? It's 20 minutes into the third period. Game's over. I would like to see a replay of that because I would like to give Gagnon the benefit of the doubt there, because the first look I had and the only look I had made it look like it was a sucker punch. And I don't want to accuse somebody of that if that's not what it was, but that's what it looked like. With a glove on, just throwing a right at Johnny Walker. And so that's how the game ended. We're not going to see the Allen Americans till the beginning of February for a 3-game series at Maverick Center. Allen won the game 4-2, but it was kind of interesting that we had to see what they call old-time hockey. They're in the final 7 seconds, and it looked like Allen, for whatever reason, was the aggressor in at least 2 of those situations. We didn't get to see what happened with Stone and Olenek. Like I said, wasn't Allen the team that won tonight? But hey, I think Allen being a team, we're trying to go into the series seeing if they had improved their speed much from last year. They don't look like they're that much faster than last year, even though Hank Chrome it looks like he's a pretty good forward. I mean, they've got some guys who can put the puck in the back of the net. But, the Grizzlies game is a little bit more speed. And, the Grizzlies were able to utilize their speed, especially yesterday, in taking control of that game. Tonight, especially, really the only time the Grizzlies ever felt like they were in the game was when Allen was giving them power plays. Utah's only 2 goals tonight were on the power play. Utah ended up, I think the one power play at the end was like 5 seconds. So, when it really counted, Utah was 2 for 7 on the power play. So, you're really talking about the Grizzlies taking control after a slow start on the power play, coming through over the last 4 games with 8 power play goals. And, the Grizzlies, I think, hope that continues in this homestand against Idaho and then against the Three Rivers Lions. Can they continue with that power play production, because that's really been a big part of their offensive game here so far. It was kind of interesting to see, and it has been interesting to see how many shots the Grizzlies have allowed through the first 10 games. They were 19th in the league in shots allowed per game, and Allen took 43 shots. Utah had 28. I think the Allen game plan offensively was solid. They really wanted to possess the puck, and they really got it in there quite a few times. Trent Miner, I thought, played a pretty good game. He stopped 39 of 42. He was very busy, but I thought Trent held his own. His record falls to 1-2 on the season. Luke Parasini stopped 26 of 28. He was probably Allen's most reliable goaltender last season, and it looks like he's pretty reliable once again this year. The Americans win 4-2. Those fisticuffs at the end just are what they are. But the Americans come away with the 3rd game of the series. Utah still wins the series. They finished the road trip with a 5-3 record. And really, I think when you think about the blueprint coming into this road trip, it played out exactly the way I thought it would in terms of a positive outcome for the Grizzlies. Split 2 games against Idaho 2 weekends ago. Win 2 out of 3 games against Kansas City. And remember, Kansas City has been a club that's played pretty even with the Grizzlies over the last 5 years. Both teams have, the same amount of wins against each other over the last 5 years. So Utah winning 2 out of 3 games there was big. And then winning the first 2 games in Allen. Knowing that you got getaway day, tonight, going back home, long road trip. It's been 2 weeks. It seems like the hotel in Allen is not a very good one that the team's staying in. And they've been at that hotel for about a week. So it's one of those where your focus could be a little bit off, and I think it'd be understandable if a game like this, the Grizzlies can come out flat. But tonight, the Grizzlies, I thought, put together a pretty good effort. There are a couple really strange plot twists to the game. One going Allen's favor, the other going the Grizzlies' way. At the end of the day, you knew Allen had enough pride and enough will that they weren't going to get swept in a 3-game series at home against a divisional opponent. That's really tough to do, regardless of how good one team is and how good the other one is. So Utah comes out away from this, with a 5-3 road trip and winning 2 out of 3 games in Allen. I think you come back home and you take that all day, any day, because if you can win on the road the way the Grizzlies have so far, we mentioned it earlier in the season. That was a big reason why the Grizzlies won the division last year, is they were able to win 19 road games. And, when you win 19 road games, all you really got to do is win 23 or 24 at home. All of a sudden, you end the season, you're about 42 or 43 wins. That's about what it's going to take to win the division, And so you're going to need to win your fair share of road games. And I think it's good that the Grizzlies went out, won 5 out of 8 games on the road, and then you come back home. You're playing a tough opponent in the Idaho Steelheads. It looks like they're a good team this year. They can score goals. And so the Grizzlies' goaltending defense is certainly going to be challenged. But then you got the Lions coming up later on in the homestand, and, the Grizzlies never faced them. So we really don't know what to expect from them. They're only in their second year as a franchise. So all in all, I think it was an interesting game tonight. Certainly the second half of the game was interesting, and the way the game ended. I don't know why one Allen player after another wanted to go after Johnny Walker, and why it was Gagnon of all people that threw that right at Walker at the very end. But I guess it just is what it is. Wasn't Allen the team that won the game? You think they'd just be out celebrating at center ice, but hey, it is what it is. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Krenz, and we didn't get to see any replays of those things, so we will get. We'd like to give Allen the benefit of the doubt on those calls. So we're not going to say anything other than I thought it was interesting how the game ended. Guy, I thought the Grizzlies, once they scored that goal on the Walker scoring on the rebound, making it a 1-goal game, you just hope for one good chance there at the end. I think Allen did a good job of keeping things to the perimeter, keeping things to center ice, getting pucks out when they could, and they were able to come away with the 2 standings points.
Yeah, Tyson, I think that's just it. I mean, when Allen gave the Grizzlies chances, they capitalized on them. They got the 2 goals. But other than that, the Americans didn't give the Grizzlies a whole lot to work with. And so that's pretty much the story of how things went. And the Americans just dictated the pace of the game. They played their style. In the end, that was the difference.
Good goaltending performance by Trent Miner in the loss, stopping 39 of 42. He was rather busy, but I thought he looked good in his second straight start.
Yeah, Miner looked good. He faced a lot of shots. And, in a game like that, you're bound to let in a few. So, yeah, a really good game from Trent. And like I said before, the Grizzlies' goaltending depth is really strong, really deep. So goaltending, I don't think is a concern for this team at all.
In terms of a Grizzlies picks-to-click winner, I mean, it's tough to do in a loss, obviously, but, the goals were scored by Brandon Cutler as he was just out in front of the net in the 5-on-3 situation. Sekos nudged it towards him, and Cutler put it away. So Cutler with 1 goal, Sekos and Nielsen had 1 assist, and then Johnny Walker with the goal there in the third period. McDonald and Martin with the assist. So nobody had a multiple-point game for the Grizzlies. So it's almost like you put a toss-up between Cutler's goal and Walker's goal as to which one mattered more. I'd almost give it to Trent Miner tonight, even though it was a losing effort, seeing as many shots as he did and keeping the Grizzlies in the game. I'd almost give it to him, although it's tough to do in a loss, and especially since nobody had more than 1 point. I guess we'll go with Trent Miner if we go with anybody tonight.
Yeah, I would say Trent Miner or Johnny Walker is a good answer, I think, in my opinion. I mean, Johnny did have the goal, and he was also in the middle of a bunch of fights, which I think were crucial in turning the momentum in the game, especially in the game where the Grizzlies didn't really bring their A game. As you mentioned before, they were probably tired, and the road trip, wanted to go home. So Walker or Miner would be my picks.
And remember, Walker scored the goal, but it was him that drew the penalty. It was Nico Blackman that went after him that drew the penalty. I don't know what is. Walker must be great with the one-liners or something, because it just seems like game after game, they don't call him the worm for nothing. For whatever reason, guys just want to get after Johnny Walker. And the great thing for Walker is it's not just guys getting after, opposing players going after him. He's making things happen. He's getting in front of the net, and he's got 4 goals in his last 4 games. And because of that, he's about as interesting as anybody on this Grizzlies roster. And I think because of that, he's going to become a fan favorite if he hasn't already here in Utah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I already love Johnny Walker. I mean, we saw him at Media Day, and he's just an awesome guy. But he kind of reminds me of like a Brad Marchand kind of type, like a Matthew Tkachuk kind of a guy. He's a goal scorer, but he's a bit of an agitator. Gets guys angry with him and makes them draw penalties. And he's just a really, really awesome player to watch. So it's just super fun to watch him play.
And I think every team needs those guys. You need those players that are going to mix it up from time to time. And guys are just going to frustrate the opposing team. You think about in another sport, the Golden State Warriors. Are they really the same team without Draymond Green? Probably not. The Bulls had Dennis Rodman back in the 1990s. You can look back to great hockey teams. I mean, the Avalanche had Claude Lemieux in the 90s. The Red Wings had Darren McCarty. I think that's just part of what good teams have. You need a Johnny Walker to kind of complement a Sekos and a Pfizer. And when you get somebody that, is able to bury his chances as consistently as Walker has, I mean, you're going to, he brings a lot to the table. And that's, I think, why he's earned the minutes. And it seemed like as the road trip had progressed, it seemed like he earned more and more ice time. And I think that's because Ryan Kanaswich sees the value in a guy like Johnny Walker and what he brings to the table.
Yeah, Tyson, I think this road trip was really crucial for Johnny Walker. We kind of got to see him evolve as a player and as a guy on this Grizzlies team throughout the course of this road trip. He wasn't seeing a whole lot of minutes to begin with on this road trip, and he kind of slowly earned his role in this lineup and made himself a presence to be reckoned with in this Grizzlies team.
Allen wins 4-2, and just one of those interesting games. A lot of penalty minutes towards the end. And I'm almost curious to see if anybody for Allen gets suspended. I don't know if there was anything that Blackman did that was suspension-worthy. Gagnon with the right at the end. I mean, whether that's suspension-worthy, it remains to be seen, I guess. Either way, it was kind of interesting how the game got physical there towards the end, especially once Allen had the 2-goal lead. But, hey, these teams don't meet till February, so it's almost like whatever beef you have, get it over with, because by February, who knows what both teams' rosters look like.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of a teaser, isn't it? I mean, a little bit of a cliffhanger. I mean, we're not going to see the Americans until February, but, I mean, at that time, we're going to see them a lot over the next couple months in the spring. So that saga between Walker and Blackman was interesting to watch throughout this series. I wonder if it'll carry over into the spring, because if it does, that's something to watch out for.
And those games will be at Maverik Center. 6 games between the Grizzlies and the Americans at Maverik Center in February. Hey, get your tickets now. UtahGrizzlies.com. You're going to want to see some of those games when the Allen Americans are at Maverik Center. Well, it's a 2-goal victory for Allen. The 4-game winning streak is over. Anybody when the picks to click over there in the live chat? Now, did Jared Dane finally settle in? Now, he kind of confused me a little bit there right at the start of the game, gave me a text and said the live chat isn't working. And that kind of got you a little bit frazzled. And you're thinking, okay, the live chat appears to be working. He went with Johnny Walker as his pick to click, did Jared Dane, just like me. I could easily make myself the winner because he did score a goal, but we are going to go with Trent Miner as the pick to click winner. Anybody pick Trent?
I don't see any picks for Trent, but you had Walker and Dane had Walker.
Now, did Dane finally get to the...
He did find a way.
He finally found a way?
He did find a way eventually, so that's good.
And I'll have to talk with Dane in the office on Monday. We'll talk some hockey, obviously. So Trent Miner is the picks to click winner, although during a loss where nobody had more than 1 point, it's kind of tough to figure out one way or another. But the Idaho Steelheads, before we leave, come into town next week. Grizzlies split a 2-game series against them. And I got to say, their offense looks like it's high-powered, especially with Ryan Domowski and A.J. White and company. That's going to be a very fascinating series. And you talk about best rivalries in the league. I know Toledo, Fort Wayne. Wheeling's got some good rivalries with teams like Toledo and Fort Wayne themselves. But for my money, I think the best rivalry in the league is in the Mountain Time Zone between the Grizzlies and Steelheads. What do you think about that matchup? These teams will meet 18 times during the regular season, and the Grizzlies really got to do a good job protecting home ice, especially early in the season against a club that they're probably going to compete for the division title with.
Yeah, Tyson, you're right. I mean, those games between the Steelheads and the Grizzlies, those are fantastic games. I mean, it doesn't even matter the record of the Steelheads or the Grizzlies. Whenever these two teams meet up, it's always must-see hockey. So, number one, go get your tickets, call the office, go online, get your tickets now. That's must-see hockey right there. But it's going to be interesting to see because those teams always seem to play each other well. They meet up very often throughout the year, so they seem to know each other very well. But it's going to be a heck of a game. Very fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. It begins on Thursday night. Kind of a couple of unorthodox days. We don't normally play Thursday home games, but Thursday night will be the next broadcast of Grizzlies hockey. 6:40 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. We'll have some friends join us as well, and we'll have a good time as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads. And, Guy, thanks for hanging out in the road games with us right here on the remote feed with the office here next to the team store. And I think the only shame of it, tonight's game, is that it went 2 hours and 41 minutes. We're hoping for something around 2 hours, 15 minutes, but I guess it is what it is.
Well, it was that slower pace that the Americans play, but still a good game overall. And thanks for having me, Tyson.
I didn't see who ended up winning that TCU-Texas game that was on the TV. Believe it or not, the game was on the TV the whole way, and I didn't look at it once.
Oh, we were all focused on the Grizzlies.
TCU ended up beating Texas 17-10 as they go to 10-0 on the season. How about this, though? Oregon loses. Washington defeats Oregon 37-34. Let's see if we can get an early score at the Utes game tonight. Looks like 11 minutes left in the second quarter. Stanford and Utah are tied at 7. I guess we'll head on out and watch the rest of the Utes and Stanford game. How did the Jazz do tonight? They lost to Washington 121-112 as the Jazz fall to 10-4 on the season. Washington goes to 7-6. But yeah, I think we weren't expecting too much of the Jazz, and they're off to a great start to the season.
Well, it's a good time for Utah sports.
Yeah, I think Utah sports is in a good state, and that includes the Grizzlies. They'll take on Idaho next Thursday and Friday at 7 o'clock. Remember, next Friday is the annual Pooch on the Pond game, and it's also an AFCU Friday where tickets start at $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And then both teams will be off next Saturday, and the series will conclude 3 o'clock on November 20th, the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. Well, I'll wrap things up here. We're at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies were over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Once again, the final score in 2 hours and 41 minutes. And in front of 5,158, the Allen Americans get a victory behind 2 assists from Zachary Massicott and goals from Jack Combs, Zach Pachiro, Liam Finley, and Hank Crone. Utah got goals from Johnny Walker and Brandon Cutler. Trent Miner was solid in net, stopping 39 of 42. For Guy Carenza, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is.